Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the fifth and final day here at the 2019 Canadian Swimming Trials. Tonight, at the end of the session, we will be naming all the athletes and coaches selected and nominated to our 6 different national teams competing this summer. It's been quite a week here. My name is Chris Heimarch-Watson. With me once again, Canadian Olympian and Olympic medalist Brittany McLean.
Yeah, thanks so much, Chris. I'm kind of sad it's our last night of competition. I know my voice isn't, as I was able to cheer this morning. Already regretting it, but never, ever a bad thing. I think we've seen some incredible racing. I think we have some new names to our team. We have some old veterans. It's shaping up to be a really great summer and a great year in preparation for the Tokyo 2020 Games next year.
Absolutely, and one of the things that we were talking about earlier today, Brittany, was the records that have been broken here. 22 Canadian records have been broken here so far. 2 senior Canadian by Kylie Moss and Marcus Thormeyer. We've had 10 national age group records and 10 para-Canadian records as well. It's been a fantastic week of racing.
Yeah, and records are meant to be broken, but it's also worth celebrating the fact that no one has ever been that fast in our country, and it's become the norm to see them, fall. And it's the crowd's been excited, the atmosphere has been there, and I think everyone's going to continue to build on that. This is the first time, and since I can remember, we've had multiple events where our athletes here in Canada are top 2 in the world, not just top, not within the top 5, 2 of the top 2 in the world. Really great to put that in perspective in April, and then as they can have a couple more months to train for it and really fight for the podium spots this summer.
Yeah, and one of the things on those records that I found really interesting this morning, Summer McIntosh out of Etobicoke, your old club, just down the road here. She broke the national age group record in the 800 freestyle this morning, going 8:55 as a 12-year-old. She had broken the NAG record a couple weeks ago, going 9:07, but the time before that had stood since 1974. So that record was 45 years old until Summer's broken it now twice in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I joked yesterday with Cole Pratt that the record was older than him. That record was about 4 or 5 times older than Summer. So awesome to see her step up this week and be able to perform in front of a big crowd under the lights. She's a swimmer that still swims in the afternoon session of meets because she's 12 and under. So for her to get the experience and swim here at prelims and finals and have to, swim multiple events at meets like this, I'm super impressed with her. I'm looking forward to the future she has ahead of her, and I will always be her #1 fan.
Yeah, some great racing by our youngsters coming up, and that brings us to the World Junior Championships taking place at the end of the summer in Budapest, Hungary. I'm really excited because I get to go to that meet and actually watch it live from the side of the pool, but it's going to be great to see some of these young kids racing for Canada in Budapest this summer.
Yeah, for sure. And for me personally, making that World Junior team back in 2011, that was that wake-up call that I was going to be able to compete on the world stage. So I'm really looking forward to the athletes having that international experience. For some, it'll be the first time they're able to do so, wear that maple leaf on their cap, feel the adrenaline of competing in front of, some of the best in the world. And then that'll push a lot of people potentially into, Olympic dreams for next year.
Yeah, it could be a stepping stone for some of those kids for sure. Tonight's events on the final day of competition, we've got the 200 individual medley, the 150 individual medley for para swimming as well, 50 freestyle, and our distance events, one of your favorite, women's 800 freestyle. It's going to be Mackenzie Paddington and Emma O'Cronin once again battling it out in that distance free.
Yeah, and I spoke about how impressed I was with Emma just 2 nights ago. But really looking forward to seeing what she's able to do here on the last night of the meet. I know it is really hard to stand up after 5 days of racing and do something you've never done before, but this is exactly the situation she's going to be put in at the international level. So great practice here. Also, as you spoke of, though, the para events. This week, we've seen absolutely amazing performances by our para athletes. You spoke of it already. 10 para records here already, and we only had 5 days of competition. So what I've really noticed is from the prelims to the finals, you're continuously seeing drops in their times, continuously seeing barriers broken. Such a great stepping stone as they're working towards World Championships this summer as well, and the Para Pan Am Games. Really proud of our para team and the growth we've seen in the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge time drops coming in heats and then again in finals in those para events. So it's been a great week of racing. We thank you all for being here throughout the last 5 days. Exciting action coming up here tonight on the final night of competition. Brittany, thanks for being with us this week, and best of luck to everyone here tonight. I'm stealing your line here on the final day.
Good luck, everybody. Thanks.
true patriot love in all of us command, car ton bras s'est porté l'épée, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And here we go with our first event of the night is the women's 150-meter individual medley. This is a Paralympic event featuring two swimmers, Nikita Enns from the Saskatoon Lasers, swimming in lane number 4, and Ali Van Wyck Smart from Variety Village, swimming in lane 5. In our 150-meter individual medley in this Paralympic event, there is no butterfly. It is just 50 meters of backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. And welcome everybody to our first event of the evening on day number 5 of the Canadian Swimming Trials. This is the 150-meter individual medley in our Paralympic swimmers category. And we have two swimmers competing. Lane number 4, Nikita Enns from the Saskatoon Lasers. And in lane number 5, Ali Van Wyck Smart from Variety Village. In this 150-meter individual medley event, there is no butterfly. It is 50 meters of backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle.
She competes in the SM3 classification. Ali Van Wyck Smart from Variety Village competes in the SM2 classification and with a 5:13.48 in the morning peak session.
And for those of you that have just joined us, my name is Jason Pratt. Welcome back. With me again, Brittany McLean. Welcome, Brittany. Day 5, Canadian Swimming Trials here in Toronto at the beautiful Pan Am Centre.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jason. It is one of the nicest pools we have in this country. And I've heard from multiple athletes this week how much they love racing in this facility. So it's nice to hear how hosting a games, 4 years ago is still continuing to make an impact, not only for our highest level swimmers, but also for the community in general. I'm sure you've seen how busy this place is day in and day out. Very well used and very important for this area.
A great legacy from the 2015 Pan American Games. And we've got a number of athletes that will be competing and hoping to get themselves on this next round of Pan American Games, the 2019 Pan American Games. Those events are happening in Lima this summer, so stick around to the very end of our broadcast tonight. We will be presenting the teams, the World Championships, the Para-World Championships right at the beginning, followed by the Pan American, Para-Pan American Games team, the World Juniors team, and the FISU World Student Games team, all to be named tonight. So stick around to the end of the broadcast where we'll be naming and presenting those national teams for the summer.
Yeah, we've seen so many records here broken already. A lot of them from one of these lovely ladies in the middle of the pool, Allie Van Wyksmart. How many times have we said that name this week?
An awful lot. Speaking of records, there's been 22 of them so far this weekend. 2 senior national records, one from Kylie Moss, one from Marcus Thormeyer, 10 national age group marks, and 10 Paralympic marks set here, including Allie Van Wyksmart set a couple herself. So it's been a great record-breaking weekend all around.
For sure. And the cool thing is we're seeing them all the way from the 11 and 12 age group to the 13, 14 age group. We've seen some 15 to 17, and then we've seen some open records. So a lot of variety, a lot of growth in our program, a lot from the youth, a lot from the older. It's really awesome to see how well-rounded our program has become and how well-rounded our swimmers are. And I was just speaking on deck, but the fact that in multiple events we have the top 2 times in the world. I can't remember a time I've ever been able to say that. It's a very great time to be a swimmer in Canada.
It sure is. And we'll keep in mind that we are early on in the year, but our swimmers are early on in the year in their preparation as well. We talked about some of those swimmers like Penny Alexiak not necessarily needing to go her lifetime best time right now in April. She's getting ready. She's keying in and focusing on the World Championships, as is Taylor Ruck, Kyla Sanchez, Rebecca Smith. They've all been to major games before. They're all going back, and they put up some great performances here, and I'm sure we're going to see even better performances come the end of July when they converge in Korea for those World Championships.
Absolutely.
And we got 50 meters left to go in this race. Our Paralympic 150-meter individual medley, Nikita Ans with the lead in lane number 4, Saskatoon Laser. She was 4:41.89 this morning. She was ahead of Allie Van Wyksmart by 30 seconds. Spread is a little bit closer than that right now. She's got just over 25 meters to go. Nikita Ans, S3 category, swimming out of Saskatoon. Looking to improve on that time that she did this morning.
And speaking of records, Allie Van Wyksmart was actually one that broke a world record on the very first session of the meet. It wasn't even, she didn't wait till finals. It was just her very first race. She was out like a rocket and started her meet off pretty damn well.
Pretty darn well, you're right. S3 category in the 100-meter backstroke, world record, very first session. And that was very exciting for these swimmers. They're getting ready for, as we said, for the Pan American Games, Para-Pan American Games, the Para-World Championships. But this one is going to be Nikita Ans coming into the wall first. She was 4:41 this morning. She's going to be better than that tonight. 4:38.5. That is 3 seconds better than she did this morning, and a new Canadian record for Ans. Record number 11 for Paralympic swimmers. And a good drop here for Allie Van Wyksmart. That's almost 13 seconds, going from 5:13 to 4:50. And if my math was a little bit better, I would have recognized that it's 23 seconds, not 13 seconds.
It's been a long week. Let's give yourself some credit there. But 23-second drop there. Allie Van Wyksmart closing off what was been such a successful weekend for her, or week for her, from day one all the way to our last day of competition. This will be a great preparation as she moves forward. And we just saw, actually just was announced, 2 Canadian records there. So we had 2 swimmers in the pool, and we had 2 Canadian records broken. Again, doesn't happen very often, especially in the same race, because they're both in different categories, so they have an opportunity to do so. What a great start to our evening here.
You're right, absolutely. Your para multi-class event. So we had S2 Canadian record by Allie Van Wyksmart in 4:50.33, and an S3 category record in 4:38.50 by Nikita Ans. 2 more. That's 12 on the weekend for our Paralympic swimmers.
And they've really continued to impress here this weekend, focusing on improvement. That's all we're continuing to look for, and yet seems that every time they dive in the water, they're making those improvements.
And we're going to get a chance here to see our men. They'll be coming up next. No, actually, it's the women's 200-meter Paralympic event for the individual medley. And then after that, we will have our men swimming the 200. And a number of Paralympians who've represented Canada internationally, including in Rio. They'll be coming up next in our 200-meter individual medley.
For sure, and it's interesting to note the lane assignments aren't based on their times this morning. they're not based on their qualifications this morning, they're based on their time. So for example, we could see a medalist at a lane 9 and you might think, wow, that was a huge race for them. Yes, could be a huge race for them. But after the points are calculated, they are, deemed from first all the way down to 10th. So it can get a little bit confusing. That's why we wait until those podium finishes to see exactly who our top 3 finishers were. But they are now divided as in speed, so in lanes similar to we see our able-bodied athletes.
Exactly right. So your top qualifier, just like in our other events, will swim in lane 4 based on time. That's going to be Samantha Ryan. You see her in the red suit there. She was a 2:44.00. But as Brittany was saying, the final points determine those final rankings for first, second, and third. That's a calculation that has to be done manually after the fact. And we'll be able to give you those results shortly after the race.
I know I've said it so much already this week, but it's such a crucial experience for them to all get to race at one meet because so many of them are spread throughout the country, and it's a really unique opportunity for them to have the experience in order to race together against one another. So they've got it under their belts, and this is a huge stepping stone moving forward.
Absolutely. And Roxanne, we'll see her swimming there in lane number 2. No stranger to this pool. She swam here at the Pan American Games in 2015.
Yeah, she's wearing that red suit there in lane 2.
Ready for our start now. Women's 200 individual medley. And so once again, Samantha Ryan in lane number 4, top qualifier by time, swimming for Neptune Natation. She was a 2:44.00 this morning. Beside her, lane number 5, Angela Marina, representing Brantford Aquatic Club. She was only a half second back in 2:44.49. Lanes 3, 4, and 5 now through the first 35 meters all together. 50 meters of butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and then freestyle in our 200 IM. And it's Ryan in lane number 4 out in front as they come to the 50-meter wall. Solid split time for her, 32.96, 0.5 of a second ahead of Marina in 5. Justine Mourier right there with them in lane number 3 as they turn onto the backstroke.
Yeah, and you're seeing some pretty smooth backstroke there for Samantha Ryan. She's got a great technique, nice tempo, looks pretty relaxed here. They're about halfway through the backstroke leg.
And it is Justine Mourier out in lane number 3, trying to get back up to the leaders in 4 and 5, Ryan and Marina. Samantha Ryan in lane number 4 in the middle of the pool. In the white cap, she has a slight advantage as they come to the flags. She's just ahead of Angela Marina as they come to the halfway point. And Samantha Ryan, 1:13.77, a full second up on Marina in 5. Mourier, you see her sitting back there in 3rd right now. As we move on to the breaststroke, Ryan out in front. But look at this. Moving up is Angela Marina in lane 5. Strong first 25 meters of breaststroke.
Yeah, and slightly out of your picture right now, Kat Roxon. She's a breaststroke specialist. She's definitely making up ground here on this 3rd leg of the IM.
And keep in mind, as we've said earlier, that this is a multi-class event. So Roxanne competing as an S9 swimmer. Mourier right above her in the lane number 3 is S14. Samantha Ryan in the middle of the pool, she's S10. And Angela Marina in lane number 5 is an S14 swimmer. As we come up to the very last wall and turn, it is Ryan in lane 4 out in front.
Look at that ground, though, made up by Katerina Roxon. She's out of lane 2, catching the rest of the group.
She's less than 2 seconds back in lane number 2. A great breaststroke leg for Roxanne. Katerina Roxanne to lane number 2, swimming for the Aqua Aces Swim Club. She's a swimmer with the most experience in the pool here in this heat of 200-meter individual medley. And a solid race in the middle of the pool between Ryan in 4 and Marina in lane number 5. And less than 10 meters to go. Samantha Ryan in lane number 4 is out in front. She was 2:44.00 this morning. And it's Ryan, 2:41.85, 0.3 back in lane number 5, Angela Marina. And here comes into the wall 3rd, Katerina Roxon with a great finish in 2:45.81. And a few more finishes now. You can see coming into the wall, lanes 0 and 1.
I always love watching that moment when they touch the wall and they turn around and they look at their time. I mean, you're always hoping for smiles. Obviously, sometimes there is disappointment, but to see them embrace one another and congratulate each other is exactly why I love this sport so much.
Yeah, some very happy girls there. We'll wait and see who ends up being selected at the end of the night, and we will announce the Para World team as well as the Para Pan American team, two of our para teams, two of the 6 teams that we're announcing this weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're on deck to grab a word with Katarina Roxon here tonight, touching with the 3rd fastest time at 2:45.81. You've been training down in Australia the last little while, University of Sunshine Coast. How's that been going for you?
It was really good. I enjoyed my time there. Enjoyed the sun for sure. I'm happy to be back in Canada though. I definitely missed the cold a little bit. So.
Now, Paralympic gold medalist in 2016 in the 100 breaststroke. What are you looking forward to most about racing this summer for Team Canada?
Just another opportunity to race against the best in the world. I know a lot of my competitors are getting faster, and it'll be nice to race against on the world stage again. So.
And are you happy with that time at this point in the season at 2:45?
Yeah, that's all right. It's probably one of the better ones I've done this season, so I'll take it for now. Definitely not happy with it. I know I can do a lot better than that, so.
Well, congratulations on your swim here tonight. Katarina Roxon, ladies and gentlemen, in the 200 individual medley para swimming.
And there we have Katarina Roxon, 2016 Paralympic gold medalist. She finished 3rd by time in our 200-meter individual medley. We'll wait and we'll get our final medal results later on this evening. As we get ready for our next event, this is going to be the men's 200-meter individual medley in our Paralympic swimmer category.
Yeah, so those of you wondering why didn't we see a 150 individual medley on the men's side, it was offered. We had no swimmers that were entered in the event, so that is why we are lacking it this evening in the program, but we will have no lack of excitement, that's for sure, as we're getting set to start this multi-class para 200-meter individual medley.
And we've had a lot of great swims out of these men. Alexander Elliott in lane number 4 has had a great weekend. So has Nicolas Guy Turbide swimming in lane number 3. In our 200 individual medley, we saw some national records. Jacob Brayshaw broke a Canadian record earlier this weekend. He was one of the men in the Paralympic category. 12 records so far from our Paralympians. And we'll see how close we get here tonight in the men's 200-meter individual medley. It is Alexander Elliott from Laval in lane 4, who's the top qualifier by time at 2:19.11. Beside him in lane number 5, Nick Bennett from Ravensong, just 15 years old. He was 2:19.40. And here we go. This is going to be the Big A final for our men's Paralympians, a 200-meter individual medley.
Yeah, lane 4, we're seeing the return of Alex Elliott. He's had such a great meet. Yesterday we saw him absolutely destroy his 400 freestyle, setting that new national record. Great meet, and it's awesome to see him on the blocks every single day consistently.
And the youngster Nick Bennett in lane number 5 also broke a Canadian record in the 200-meter freestyle yesterday. And he was the 2:19.40, but off to a very quick start. It is Elliott in lane number 4 from Laval, out quickly, 2:19.11 this morning, looking strong in lane number 3 off the start. Nicolas Guy Turbide from Club Natation Quebec, having a very strong first 50 meters of butterfly as they come to the wall. It is in lane 4, 28.02. That's Alexander Elliott. And the swimmer from Laval out quickly. Turbide in lane number 3, nearly a second back, 28.9. Nick Bennett, the youngster, in lane number 5, up in the top 3 right now through the first 75 meters.
Yeah, Alex Elliott really keeping that tempo high. Nice turnover pace. You see consistency coming from his legs as he has a light splash there with every stroke.
And it's Elliott coming to the halfway mark, out in front. He was our top swimmer this morning. Turbide, though, right there with him, a second and a half back. It's 101.56 to 103.11. Bennett He's going to have his work cut out for him on this breaststroke and freestyle, the back end of the race. He's 3 seconds back from our leaders. Turbide making up some ground on Elliott through the first 25 meters of breaststroke, and here comes Bennett in lane 5, trying to get up to our race leaders. He's very strong on the breaststroke. This will be the 150-meter mark. We're going to have Elliott to the wall first. He's going to hit it at 50 meters of freestyle. Turbide is right there, a body length behind in lane number 3, and here comes Bennett in 5. 1:43.07. The lead is now only 2 seconds, and Bennett has made up a lot of ground on that breaststroke in lane 5.
Yeah, and Alex Elliott really with no weakness. All of his strokes very technically sound, great tempo throughout. He's held consistency throughout this meet in a variety of different strokes. So this IM, it's not too surprising to see him out in front.
And a great swim by Elliott in lane number 4 again. He was 2:19.11 this morning. And he's going to be our fastest swimmer in the pool at 2:14.61. A great swim by him. Lane number 5, 2:17.35. Nick Bennett. That's the youngster. And Turbide coming into the wall third at 2:17.95. All of those swimmers, big improvements from this morning. We'll have to wait till those swims are scored to determine those final overall placings. Very good swims out of the middle of the pool. 5-second drop for Elliott in lane number 4.
For sure, and one of the things I'm most looking forward to is seeing that pair team named tonight, because it is really hard, depending on classifications, it's really hard for us to figure out exactly who's going to be on that team. I'm sure similarly for them, they're all kind of wondering, who's going to be chosen for which team. So really looking forward to that celebration of our Canadian national team coming up at the end of the program in a few short hours.
And we'll ask everybody to stick around for that to see the teams presented. Will happen at the end of the night. Hopefully we'll be able to get to that right away at the conclusion of our evening. It may take us a few minutes, but we'll have a few awards while they're doing the final calculation for our national team presentations. Get everybody to stick around to see the march out presentation of our team going to the World Championships to represent Canada, as well as the team going to the Para World Championships. As we move on to our next event, this is the 200-meter individual medley for our women, and this is going to be heat number 1, our B final. FINA A standard in this is a 2:13.03, and we should have 2 swimmers underneath that standard later on in our A final, Brittany.
Yeah, there's a lot of different storylines with that A final. We have some swimmers we've seen already qualify for the team, and then we have some swimmers who this is their last shot to qualify. We're going to chat about that in a bit. As you're seeing on your screen right now, the final results there of the men's 200-meter individual medley, and right now we're gearing up to watch our B final of the women's able-bodied 200 IM.
Top seed is going to be lane number 4, Catherine Demler from Ohio State University. She was 2:16.08 this morning. And you're going to see her in the middle of the screen with the black cap.
Top Canadian here will be coming out of lane 3. That's Nina Kucherin. She was actually our bronze medalist in the 50-meter breaststroke. So keep an eye definitely for a little bit of a move to be made there on the third leg of this race.
And Kucherin this morning was 2:18.69. She was 2 seconds back from Demler, but if she's anywhere near her when they turn onto the breaststroke, it'll be anybody's race. Going down through the butterfly now, Demler in lane number 4 has a slight advantage over lane number 5, DeBeaver, swimming unattached. 28.81. Ashley McMillan, though, out of lane number 7. She's swimming for the Kishu Swim Club, just ahead of DeBeaver in lane number 5. Demler is in third. All of these swimmers, though, within a tenth of a second in lanes 7, 5, and 4 as we move on to the backstroke.
Yeah, and this is my favorite part about watching IM, similar to what we saw in the 400 IM. There's so many changes of leaders, changes of race strategies, different strengths, different weaknesses. It makes it really fun as a spectator to watch.
And Ashley McMillan, she's leading this one from the start, ahead at the fly. She's right up with the leaders as they come onto the end of the backstroke. Demler, though, 1:02.97, 4 100ths of a second ahead of DeBeaver. McMillan right there, only 9 100ths of a second back. As we move on to the breaststroke, watch out for Kucherin in lane 3 Demler looking very strong, though, in the first half of this breaststroke leg. Catherine Demler this morning, a 2:16.08. She was fast enough to swim into the A final, but as a foreign swimmer, not eligible for the A final, relegated to the B. She's leading it here now. Out in front, DeBeaver sitting in second. Ashley McMillan doing a great job for Kisu in lane number 7. She's currently third as they come to the 150 wall.
Quite the youngster as well, so great experience here for her to have, only 14, 15 years of age.
And Demler at 1:42.3, 7/10 of a second up on DeVever in lane 5. McMillan 1:43.3. She is right there as well. McMillan this morning 2:19.2. And there we have a great shot of Demler in the middle of the pool coming straight towards you. Catherine Demler from Ohio State University coming in to win our B final of the women's 200-meter individual medley. Demler 2:14.25. McKenna in for second at 2:15.53. And look at this, Ashley McMillan from Kishu in lane number 7, dropping more than 3.5 seconds to finish third in 2:16.15.
Yeah, I'd say the swim of that race is definitely going to be McMillan coming out of lane 7 to touch third. Top Canadian in our B final, 2:16.15.
And she's a youngster, 2004 born. So eligible for the World Junior Championships. We'll see how that swim stacks up. Just saying, we'll see how that swim by Ashley McMillan acts up for selection for the World Juniors. Up now, medal presentations for our para swimmers in the 150-meter individual medley.
So we're getting set here for podium presentations. Women's 150 IM. This is the race where we saw 2 different Canadian records in one race. 2 for 2. I'd say that's pretty good odds.
Nikki Enns from the Saskatoon Lasers. Canadian record for her, 4:38.50. A big drop for her as well from the preliminaries to the finals. To about 3 seconds. And there's your gold medalist, another Canadian record. Dropping, let me get it right this time, 23 seconds. Ali Van Wyck Smart from Variety Village.
Such an incredible accomplishment for both of these ladies, and for them to get to do it together, it makes it even more special.
Yeah, big drop for both of our young swimmers, and 2 Canadian records as well in the same race. 200 IM coming up next, and we were talking about it earlier. Sydney Pickram already on the team. She's a top seed, 2:12.01 this morning. Bailey Anderson from the Perth Stingray, she's a second qualifier, 2:13.57, just a half second over that FINA A standard bearer. Great swim by Anderson, sitting right there in third. Kelsey Wog, she swam the 200 IM last summer for Canada at the Pan Pacific Championship. She will also be a threat, especially if she's anywhere near the race leaders when they go onto the breaststroke.
For sure, and your Canadian record holder will be swimming out of lane 4. That is Sydney Pickram, already on our world's team as mentioned, 200 breaststroke, 400 IM, but this is her bread and butter event. She'll have a lot of focus on this in order to fight for the medals later on this summer in South Korea. You spoke about Erica Silton-Wright-Hodgson. She'll be in lane 6. She has been a 2:10.97 at this meet 2 years ago and has had to stay patient until this day 5 in order to get to swim her race. She has a Commonwealth Games bronze medal in this event. She was a semifinalist in Rio, a lot of experience out of lane 6. But you mentioned Bailey Anderson, kind of a new threat in this race. She will have lane 5. She swam 2 A finals at the NCAA Championships a few weeks ago. She will, in the 200 and 400 IM, cutting 4 seconds off her entry time this morning. So She's obviously in great form here. I think it's going to be a fun race to watch.
And let's not forget about this young lady, Kyla Sanchez, in lane number 7, a threat in no matter what event she's swimming. This is the first of 2 events for her tonight. She's got the 50-meter freestyle later, but first she's going to be challenging the field in this 200 IM.
Absolutely, and we can't either forget about Kelsey Wog. She has lane 3. She won the Canadian University Championships in this event just a couple months ago. Also, important to note, lanes 3, 4, 6, and 7 have all been under that FINA A standard before.
So as in so many of our women's events, it's not going to be the standard that is the challenge. It is just going to be getting your hand on the wall in one of those top 2 positions to get your trip booked for the World Championships. And there's Pickram in lane number 4, the Canadian record holder in this event. She did it in Tokyo in the Pan Pacific Championships, a time of 2:09.07. Her Canadian record split 28.48 at the end of the butterfly. And she's out very good. Under Canadian record time right now, 28.39. Mary Sophie Harvey in lane number 8, out quickly, also on Canadian record pace.
Yeah, and Mary Sophie Harvey won the 200-meter butterfly event last night, so not surprising to see her out fast. Pickram, though, if Pickram touches this wall at the halfway mark with the lead, we know she is threatening something special here, as she has a back half better than almost anyone in the world in this event. She is still our clear leader moving into the halfway mark.
And look at her distance herself from the rest of the field. 1:01.47 is the record pace. 1:00.83, an incredible outing for Pickram. And let's not forget, she put up the number 2 time in the world in the 200-meter breaststroke earlier this week. Number 1 time in the world in the 200 IM 2019 is a time of 2:07.57. That's under the Canadian record, but we'll see how close Pickram can get to that.
And she looks very smooth, clear water here. Her breaststroke, her strength, as she is showing right now. Just over 5 meters left to go as she charges home in the freestyle.
Canadian record split is a 1:38.33, and I think she's going to be right there as she hits the wall. Look at this, 1:37.66. That is under Canadian record pace. Bailey Anderson from Perth Stingrays in lane 5 doing an amazing job on this one. It's going to come down to the finish, and we're going to see if we can get another senior Canadian record out of Sydney Pickram.
Bailey Anderson might be our new member on this Worlds team if she can hold off Kelsey Wog here.
I think Wog has gone by her, but keep your eye on the clock. Canadian record, 2:09.0, a new Canadian record, and a great swim by Sydney Pickram, a time of 2:08.71. What a fantastic swim for Pickram. Wog, 2:10.72, a lifetime best time for her. Inside the top 10 in the world for Kelsey Wog, 3rd, with a great swim under the FINA A standard, but not fast enough to get on the team, but a great swim by Bailey Anderson from the Perth Stingrays.
And Kelsey Wog has transformed herself from someone who had a shot of making our team to now being a threat in multiple events. We've seen her come 2nd in the 200 breast, 2nd in the 100 breast, and now 2nd in the 200 IM. This is going to be her first World Championships, that is long course, and she's going to be swimming 3 individual events.
Fantastic swimming. That time by Sydney Pickram, the 4th fastest time in the world so far this 2019 year.
Yeah, and really happy for Pickram. I spoke to her earlier this morning, and she said it's hard on day 5, even though it's her best event. She wants to focus on it, and she knew she had that time in her. She just didn't know if she was going to be able to get down to it right now, and she just proved that she can. A great starting point as her season is just going to be beginning. Let's hear from them now.
Sydney Pickram in the 200 individual medley. Sydney, under the Canadian record right from the first 50 on your pace. Got to be pretty excited with that time here in April and a few months to go before Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, last year was definitely a rough year for me health-wise. I had mono going into the summer, so to go best time there, I knew this one was going to be a good one. I was feeling it, and I had girls that I knew were going to push me on breaststroke, so I definitely had to try and get out there. And for me to go out first and fly is a big deal. So that's my biggest accomplishment at this meet. That's what.
Touching the wall first out of the 50 fly. Now that time ranks 4th in the world so far this year. Do you keep an eye on those world rankings as you get closer to the Worlds, or you just not really want to worry about it?
My boyfriend does, and he sends me them all the time. So I do a little bit because of him, but You know, I just have to focus on my best, and I looked at my splits today, and I was pretty happy with them. They were all just a bit slow. And I was like, I just need to be a second faster on all of them. And so that worked out this morning and tonight, so it is what it is for now.
Good plan. Congratulations on the Canadian record and the win here tonight. Kelsey Waughan for second, 2:10.72. Another event for you this summer at the World Champs.
Yeah, it was the best time, and I'm really excited to go to Worlds.
So you're known more as a pure breaststroker, but obviously the IM has been in your repertoire for quite some time. Is there anything that you really focus on in the IM other than the breaststroke leg?
Definitely the back 100 is my stronger suit, so I just work on getting through the fly and back and then just go.
Congratulations to Sydney Pickram and Kelsey Waughan in the 200 individual medley.
And it's really rare for us to see our top two finishers in a breaststroke event be our top two finishers in an IM event. Usually similar strengths, don't get me wrong, but for them to be the two best we have in the country, knowing they both have similar strengths, I think it's going to be a fun summer.
I think you're absolutely right. And with number 4 and number 9 in the world, looking pretty good getting into Gwangju later for the World Championships. Solid swims our Canadian girls in all events, and another one good showing here in the 200 IM. Our next event up, this is the men's 200-meter individual medley. It's the first of 2 heats. First up, this is going to be our B final.
Yeah, and although it is the B final, we still have some big names in this B final. Tristan Cote being one of them. He will have lane 4. He was our champion in the 400-meter IM. More of a distance specialist. Struggles a little bit to get down to the 200-meter discipline, but still looking for a big time drop off of his slightly fatigued performance this morning.
Yeah, and he was a 2:04.87 this morning, which is a good swim for Cote. He's top seed here in the B final in the middle of the pool. You want to keep your eye also on lane number 3, Jacob Gallant from the Fredericton Aquanauts swim team. He's a youngster at just 16 years old, and he swam a 2:05.59 this morning, which was the best time for him. As we get underway in the first 35 meters of butterfly, we've got Cote up there in front. Gallant in lane number 3 is with him, as is lane number 5, Vincent LaPearl. Lane number 1, though, Justice Mino out in 26.3. Half a second ahead of LaPearl in lane number 5 as we turn onto the backstroke. LaPearl looking very good in lane 5.
And Tristan in the middle of the pool swims this race similar to the likes of Pickram and Wog, where he has a strong breaststroke and freestyle leg. So he's going to look to be in the mix and turn, and he's in a good position, but right now your leaders still remain lane 5 and lane 6.
And a good outing in lanes 5 and 6 as LaPearl gets to the wall first to the 100 at 58.42, 4/100ths a second ahead of Grayson Bernard. And Grayson Bernard managed to be the most tied, actually, for the winningest athlete in any single Canada Games male athlete, where he picked up 10 medals in 2017, a record that he shares with Cole Pratt, who we'll see coming up in our next heat, the top seed in the 200-meter individual medley.
You just keep me learning every single session, and that's what I love so much about it. A lot of swim knowledge here for Jason. Okay, Tristan coming into the wall here, and it's a close race. Tristan Cote, Grayson Bernard, within a tenth of each other there after the breaststroke split.
Very close. I think we're going to see a couple more best times out of Cote and Bernard. 9/100ths is all that separate them. And look at this by Tristan Cote. He swum a very tough program. 400 IM, 400-meter freestyle. On day 5 now, he's going to put down his best time. I'm sure he's gained a little bit of confidence, getting down to 4:17, getting that FINA cut, and being named earlier this week to our World Championship team. He comes in for the win in 2:04.17. Grayson Bernard in lane 6 second. A great swim for him at 2:04.93. And Vincent LaPearl third in the B final in 2:05.17.
And what I appreciate about this race as well, a lot of our swimmers, once they're named to the team in their less successful events, tend to scratch and focus on other things or take this day as an easy day. But Tristan got up and raced tonight in this B final. I think that says a lot about the swimmer he is and a lot about the potential he has this summer racing for Canada.
And shortly we're going to have some medal presentations in our paraswimming. And now I believe that we are back and we have some medal presentations for the 200-meter individual medley, our Paralympic females. And we'll get to see who placed in the top 3 based on their IPC world points.
Presenting the awards, please welcome Canadian Paralympian and Paralympic gold medalist Darla Sales.
And it looks like bronze is going to go to Camille Berube from Natation Gatineau. She swam 3:09.75.
Bronze medalist, David
And these ladies are not at all new to getting to know one another. All of them are representing Canada on the international stage and at the Paralympics. So great friends all around. You see lots of smiles.
A very close bunch of swimmers. Katarina Roxon, a Rio 2016 Paralympic gold medalist. She picked up the silver here in the 200 IM. And there is your gold medalist and a victory dance on top of the podium. Samantha Ryan.
Big smiles there as their program. We might see some of them later in the 50-meter freestyle, but some of them might be done this meet. What a meet it's been for our para team. Great success, tons of records.
And up next, Brittany, we've got that 200-meter individual medley. What are we looking for here?
Well, I think there's a few things to note. One being, this is one of the long-standing Canadian national records still from the super suit era. So Keith Beavers holds its time from 2008. It still stands. And we have a couple of our well-rounded swimmers here that are having great meets so far, may be able to dip under that FINA A cut. I think our top seed was a little bit conservative this morning. He'll have lane 1. That's Mac Dara. Sense of relief after last night's performance, making the team by .03. Now that the pressure's off, he'll be in here today, relaxed and ready to swim fast. Now with a similar mentality, Cole Pratt, he'll have lane 4. This is his last event of what has been an incredible meet for him. Really changing himself from a junior level swimmer to a senior level swimmer, getting himself on the team. Again, he'll be swimming lane 4. There beside him, Finley Knox, you're seeing him on your screen, won the bronze medal at the Youth Olympic Games last year in this event. And then we have someone like Javier Acevedo, comes in with the second fastest lifetime best, 2:01.36. And he's going to have to be way faster than that if he wants to get under this FINA A cut. Now, this morning, no one was within 2 seconds of that FINA A cut, so they're going to have to get moving if they want to get under it tonight.
You're absolutely right, and I think what you're going to have to see out of one of these swimmers or two of them is obviously something that we've never seen before, as they've not been under that FINA cut. So expect to see, well, I guess what I'd put it this way, if there's any hope of any of these swimmers getting down to that time, you're going to know it right from the gun. They're going to have to be out quick to the 50, to the first 100 meters. And our top seed is in lane number 4. That is Cole Pratt, wearing the blue cap. Out quickly, though, right there, Finley Knox. He is not holding back. He's a Youth Olympic Games bronze medalist, and he's going out very quickly in lane number 3, just to the right of Pratt. And through the first 50 meters, it looks like Knox, followed by Pratt. We want to see a 26 mid out of these swimmers through the butterfly. And it's Mac Dara, the butterfly specialist, out in 26.0.
And we're going to have to keep an eye on that age group record as well. If they can get under that FINA A cut, they're going to be threatening Evan White's 15 to 17-year-old age group record. I believe about a 2 minutes .3 is that record. Perfect. So keep an eye on that. But look at the great backstroke there by Cole Pratt. And we're not surprised to see that, as he was our 200 backstroke runner-up. And let's see who has the strongest breaststroke.
I want to see 56 low here at the 100, and 56.20. It's actually under senior Canadian record pace. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get down to that. He's well under the national age group record pace, but we've got some breaststroke specialists immediately to his right and immediately to his left. They're going to try and make her move on him now. Knox trying to come up in lane number 3. Pratt, he's trying desperately to hold off as they come to the 150-meter wall. You're going to want to see 130 point high or better if they're going to have any shot at getting down to that FINA A standard.
And a lot of these guys have
And
had
here is Pratt, 132.2, and Hill right together.
Yeah, it's a close race, and a lot of these guys have raced so much over the last 5 days. Fatigue is definitely setting in here, but they're digging deep as 25 remains in this men's 200-meter IM.
Knox had the fastest freestyle of any swimmer this morning. He and Pratt are battling it out. Robert Hill in the yellow cap, though. There is Knox. There's Pratt at the wall. Finley Knox, 2:01.30. A great swim by the swimmer from Okotoks to win the gold. Pratt coming in second, 2:01.51 beside him in lane number 4. Rob Hill picking up the bronze. A lifetime best time for all of our top 3 swimmers. A good way to finish off the meet.
For sure, and that's a huge race for Finley Knox, as he has never been an individual national champion before. Also, that's a great starting point for him, being faster than the time he set to win bronze at the Youth Olympic Games. We've also just been announced that Javier Acevedo out of lane 2 has been disqualified there. His time would have put him about 5th place, so that time swimmer out of lane 6, Josh Zakala, has moved up into 5th. But yeah, what a great race. Top 3 finishers there within a couple tenths of a second, so exciting swimming there. As digging deep coming home, and that was a neck-and-neck battle. It looked like Cole went out a little bit quick on that first 100, started to feel it coming home.
Yeah, he paid the price for that speed at the front end, but that's how these youngsters learn. They have to push those boundaries at the front end. He knew that he was going to have to do that if he was going to get anywhere close to that 2-minute standard, the FINA A cut.
Absolutely, and this is where they got to practice it. National champion here, Finley Knox.
2:01.30. Finley Knox at personal best time by over half a second.
It was a good swim. A little tired at the end of the meet, but it's definitely something we can improve on.
And battling right down to the final touch with both Cole Pratt and Robert Hill. It's great to be able to have a good race in the 200 IM.
I race Cole all the time, and it's just great for him to be there. Definitely pushed me to the finish.
So you had an experience last October at the Youth Olympic Games. You went down to Argentina with Team Canada, won a bronze medal in this event. What was that experience like?
It was a great learning experience. Definitely trying to prepare myself for bigger competitions, and it definitely helps me at these bigger meets.
Well, you're a senior national champion here tonight in the 200 IM. Congratulations, Finley Knox in the 200 IM.
Well, it's interesting. We had nobody underneath the FINA A cut in that event, although Cole Pratt already on the Senior World Championship team, and as no one is going to be selected by the looks of it for this event, he may have an opportunity to swim that event as he's underneath the FINA B standard. We'll have to wait and see as we get a little bit closer to that competition. Perhaps another event for Pratt at the World Championships this summer. Next up, we are going to move and change gears in a big way as we get ready for the 800-meter freestyle. Awards up first.
Set for our podium. Yep, so we're waiting for our para multi-class 200-meter individual medley. These are our top 3 finishers after the points were calculated. Similar to the positions, they touched the wall, however. That bronze medal will go to Nicholas Guy Turbide from CNQ, time of 2:17.95. And talk about a great race. Nick Bennett just out touching him, 2:17.37. Came down to the wire with that one.
Nick Bennett, the youngster, just 15 years old from Ravensong. Has a Canadian record. Picks up the silver medal.
And it's just become a norm here. We're seeing one almost every race here for our para-athletes. Absolutely phenomenal. Nick Bennett, silver medal, but in his classification, the fastest Canadian we've ever had. Another one of the fastest Canadians we've ever had. Alexander Elliott will be bringing home a gold medal back to University of Laval. His time here, 2:14.61.
Great swimming out of our gentleman there in the 200 IM, the multi-class Paralympic event.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
All right, here we go. We're getting set to welcome our 800-meter final. Now, before we get going on these distance races, we need to remind everyone at home that this is a time final race. So everyone else swam this morning, and all the times that were swum this morning count as we go into this final heat. Now, speaking of swims this morning, we had someone that was absolutely lights out and worth mentioning here. Summer McIntosh, at 12 years old, posted a time that will probably make our top 10 here. 8:55, taking 10 full seconds off of that national age group mark for 11, 12-year-old girls. She has been a phenom here and someone that has wowed the crowds, that's for sure.
An amazing swim out of little 12-year-old Summer McIntosh, coached by Kevin Thorburn at Etobicoke Swimming. It was a 12-second drop for her. She's broken that record twice now this year. And that was, before she broke it a few weeks ago, it was the longest standing Canadian women's record we had. It was 45 years old.
Absolutely unbelievable. Now in this race right here, we have Mackenzie Paddington. She's in lane 4. She has won this event the last 2 national championships, and can she make it 3 here tonight? I also have to mention, she did say she was a little tired after the 400, so I have no fear that young Emma Cronin will give her a little bit of a threat here for this title. She'll be swimming right beside her in lane 5, having an absolutely amazing meet 2 nights ago, qualifying for a world championship team in the 400-meter freestyle.
And coming into this meet, O'Cronin, her best shot appeared to be the 1,500-meter freestyle. It didn't work out, but as we've seen so many times this weekend, she was able to bounce back and put down, for her, an incredible 400-meter freestyle at 4:09, going underneath that FINA cut and finishing second.
Yeah, so that FINA 8 cut for this is 8:30, 8:56, and that cut is very realistic for both Paddington and O'Cronin. It's going to take a little bit of a lifetime best for anyone else in this heat, but worth mentioning, Anderson will be swimming in a lane 3. She had a great race in the B final of the 400, winning her heat by about 6 seconds. And she was 5th in the 1,500 on the first day of this meet. Now, a lot of these swimmers are feeling fatigue here. It's been a long meet, especially some of these girls have raced over 3,000 meters as we add it all up. Some of these swam the 1,500, the 400 twice, some of them in the 400 IM, some in the 200 free. So they're feeling fatigued, but this is what they're used to doing. This is a program that they've had to get used to time and time again. So we're going to be expecting some toughness here in this women's 800.
And great range by O'Cronin, who we've talked about a number of times. She was in the final last night, going a best time in the morning in the 200, a best time again at night, just barely missing that 2-minute barrier. Showing some great maturity, the youngster out of Edmonton Keano Swim Club in lane number 5. Canadian record in this event going back to 2014. Young lady by the name of Brittany McLean threw down an 8:20.02. That standard has stood for a number of years. We'll see how close we can get these girls down to that. Hopefully we get a couple underneath that FINA A cut. The time to watch and beat, 8:38.56.
For sure. And also young Katrina Bellio, she's out in lane 6 having a great meet. She's hit all best times in her races so far this week. She was only 1 second above her best, flipping at the 800 split to her 1,500. So she's going to want to stay as close to Emma O'Cronin as possible, and she's in about 4th position right now, though. It's all Mackenzie Paddington with a body length and a half, 2:04.92 there. Then it's Emma O'Cronin, 2:07.10.
And Bellio, another one of Kevin Thorburn's prodigies at Etobicoke Swimming. She'll be chasing down a 13 to 14-year-old national record, a very quick 8:42.47. She's 7 seconds off of that coming into the meet, but we'll see how close. She's been having a great meet all weekend long. Paddington turning out in front at the 250-meter mark, 2.5 seconds up on O'Cronin in lane number 5. Bellio, the 14-year-old, moving up into 3rd in lane number 6. We're going to want to see these girls here in and around 3:15 or so, maybe a little bit better, just to show us that they are on pace to be underneath that standard.
For sure, and we have to remember, even though, we're now into day 5, it's continuously reminding us that we have multiple qualification meets. We talk time and time again about world championships, but there's meets like the Pan Am Games, there's meets like the World University Championships, and someone that comes, 5th or 6th may end up qualifying for one of our national teams. So these races are going to come down to the very end of the no matter what it is. So our last 50, keep an eye out for who's able to close strong and get the touch, and that could get them a trip to an international meet this summer.
Well, it's great that we have so many international opportunities for our Canadian swimmers a year out from the Olympic Games, whether that is the World Championships, the Pan American Games, World Student Games, or the World Junior Championships, giving them some valuable international race exposure a year out from the Olympic Games in Tokyo.
Yeah, for sure. And Horner right now swimming at a lane 7. She's just outside of this screen, right there beside Katrina Bellio in the blue cap. But Steph Horner has been to 3 Olympic Games for Canada and swimming different events at each Olympic. So a very versatile swimmer, and we've seen the veteran around for many, many years.
And there goes Paddington turning at 4:15, 4:18.3 for Cronin in lane number 5. These two swimmers still on pace to be underneath that 8:38. Bellio, she is in 4th right now at 4:21.75. She's going to have to pick it up to get down to Savannah King's record, a time set 12 years ago in 2007, 8:42.47.
Yeah, and Paddington was about a second or two faster than her seed time at the flip. So she was seeded to flip at the 4:16 mark, and she just flipped at 4:15. So look for her to drop under that entry time of 8:40.0.
Anna Cronin coming in at an 8:40 entry time. Paddington, she is looking strong in the middle of the pool. She's opened up about a 3 body length lead on O'Cronin as they come just past the halfway. This turn is going to be the 500 meter mark. We want to see these swimmers better than 5:25. If we'll see them still on pace for that standard, 5:20 for Paddington in 4, O'Cronin 5:24 also underneath that standard. And a great race in 3 and in 6. Katrina Bellio in lane number 6, just ahead of Merritt Anderson from the University of Calgary in lane number 3. Going to be a very close race for that bronze medal. We'll see where Summer McIntosh's 8:55 factors in.
For sure, and Paddington's still very comfortable out as your leader. Emma Cronin, though, I'm impressed with her racing this week for multiple reasons, but one of them, I think that's hard when you're just watching on a screen to appreciate. Someone like Cole Pratt as well. When you've made your first senior national team, the emotional drain that is to feel that success, but also have to, hold your composure and realize you still have a race to swim. You still have multiple races to swim. The meet is long. Really impressed when I see them performing still best times on the last day of the competition, knowing the drain that it's been to stay through the course for all 5 days.
Interesting that you say that. I spoke to both those young swimmers' mothers who said that their kids had a lot of trouble sleeping on that first night when they made their first ever senior national team. So, as you said, great to see them racing and racing well here on day number 5. Padding turning at 6:26 to Cronin, 3.5 seconds back. She's just underneath what it takes to get down to that standard. Cronin's going to have a great finish to get underneath 8:38.
As you mentioned, Paddington looking for the win here. No one really challenging her right now. But if she wants to get that spot and guarantee her swim in the 800 at World, she's going to be looking to get under the FINA A. As you mentioned, under another of the different qualification standards, she may get to swim it either way because she is already on our World Championship team. But look for a close that's very strong, as we've seen Paddington do time and time again.
Paddington looking very good. We're going to get the bells to come out here very shortly, indicating 100 meters left to go. Paddington there in the center of your screen with the black cap leading through just about 700 meters. Cronin sitting in second in lane number 5, and a very close race for that bronze medal between Merritt Anderson in lane number 3 and Katrina Bellio in lane 6. And Cronin right on where she's got to go. She's going to have to be back in 1:02.7 to get underneath that cut to swim this race at the World Championships. Paddington will be there. And look at this battle we got going on. Bellio in 6 and Anderson, a very close race for that bronze medal, a little bit out of the screenshot here. but they are swimming stroke for stroke, trying to get on that podium as Paddington takes the last turn.
Yeah, Paddington still hasn't really brought her legs in here. She's talked about having a lot of fatigue as the competition's gone on, but maybe this is either just completely relaxed or she's feeling the burn here. But Paddington is your clear leader as we get into the final 25.
And Paddington, I think she's going to be just over her entry time of 8:34, but it's going to be a solid swim for her. She hasn't, as you said, she hasn't even gone to her legs yet. A long week of racing for Mackenzie Paddington. She's going to win our 800-meter freestyle, 8:36.38. A second is going to go to O'Cronin, just over that cut at 8:39. But for O'Cronin, a best time. And look at this. Lane number 3 picking up the bronze with a great finish. Merritt Anderson, that is also a best time for her. Bellio, just over that Canadian record time. She finished in 8:43.31, less than a second off from that record by Savannah King from 2007.
Yeah, and again, for Bellio, that's a huge race, cutting 7 seconds off her personal best. She's just inching away at that national record for sure after a very long program in races like the 1500, the 400 IM, the 400 freestyle. I'm always amazed to see girls step up on this last night and improve on their performances, the fastest they've ever been. Great racing though. Again, we might get to see Emma Cronin swim that event now that she's qualified for World Championships already, but just shy of that FINA A cut there. Rounding out the podium though, great performance out of Merritt Anderson. Obviously picking up after, just qualifying for the B final and then swimming a lights out performance out of the B final. Very technically swum. Nice and patient in her race, and came on in that last 200 to take that bronze medal from Bellio. But great swim there, and our podium finishers, well deserved, and we're getting ready to hear from our national champion here. That will be Mackenzie Paddington.
Ladies and gentlemen, your champion here tonight, adding another event to her schedule for the Worlds this summer, Mackenzie Paddington, 8:36.38, under that FINA A standard, but I can sense you want to be a little bit faster than that here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. It was really hard bouncing off yesterday, really disappointing morning swim, and I just really need to get that FINA A because I know I have so much more left in me for the summer, so.
You come out, from the ready room, you're dancing behind the blocks, trying to get really pumped up and ready for that race. Was that your mindset coming in here tonight?
Yeah, I just put my mind actually out of the pool, and during that race I was not here because that was something I needed to do mentally to be able to get under that FINA A tonight.
Now you had talked earlier, and we talked after the 400 free about how proud you were of Emma O'Cronin and these younger swimmers that are coming up. What are you most excited about representing Canada with a group of veterans and youngsters this summer?
I'm just really excited to be there with everyone. It's only my 3rd senior national team, and it's such a fun atmosphere to be in, and I'm really excited for the younger ones because it's getting them ready for trying to make the Olympics next year. So, yeah.
Well, congratulations, Mackenzie Paddington, and best of luck this summer as you wear the maple leaf and represent Team Canada.
There we have it now.
I don't know about you, Jason, but I was really hoping that Shake It Off video meant that we were going to watch like a music video or something. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit of groove in there, and we're getting set for our 200-meter IM women's podium finishers, and again, continuing to break records here, but that was wrong people up on your screen, but the right people up in your image. Sydney Pickram setting a new Canadian record, the fastest we've ever seen in this country for any age.
And look at this, Bailey Anderson up on the podium, 2:11.33, a best time, nearly 6-second drop for Anderson to get down to that swim. underneath that FINA A cut. We'll likely see her either named to the World Student Games team or perhaps the Pan American Games team.
And an awesome season she's had to get her name on one of our Canadian rosters this summer. Great swimming out of her, but another great race there. Kelsey Wog dropping just over 3 seconds from what she was a month and a half ago at the Canadian University Championships. But again, it's all Pickram right now. Canadian record holder, as waving to the crowd as she should, but a great performance there from start to finish. She mentioned she's not normally out fast in a fly, but she wanted to change that tonight and just absolutely go for it, and she definitely did that here.
A great swim by Sydney Pickram, a new Canadian record, the 4th fastest time in 2019 in the world. We'll see her competing against the very best in the world later on this summer at the World Championships in Gwangju, Korea. And now medal presentations for our men's 200-meter individual medley. You're going to see a couple of youngsters on top of the podium from Alberta.
And they've talked individually just as boys, but they've raced each other so many times in the past. This isn't anything new for Finley or Cole, and it's great that they can be on a national stage and still race each other neck and neck. Awesome that they have the opportunity to do so on a regular basis.
Yeah, these two have been racing each other since they were just youngsters. Finley Knox, quite a prodigious 10 and under. Now here on top of the podium, national champion, a lifetime best time of 2:01.30, just 0.2 of a second back, Cole Pratt. As they said, they've been racing each other for years, and this one ended up no different.
And they can take this swim away. No, it wasn't a FINA A cut, but they have a whole year to improve on, just a little over a second. And they've done more than that here this week, so a lot to work on, a lot of takeaways. I'm sure they'll watch that race with their coaches and have a full year to work on some of those little fine tunes. Excited to watch this race a year from now at Olympic Trials.
And a good swim by the veteran Rob Hill. Lifetime best time, first time under 2:02 for him. Very solid swim for Hill. He's got to be happy with that. And potentially putting himself up for either the Pan American Games team or the World Student Games team as well.
And we're getting set here for a men's 1500. Now, this is the longest race in the program. They will go 30 laps of the pool. Don't worry, everyone. They have someone to count just in case they forget. That bell lap is that beautiful sound in your ears when you're a distance swimmer to hear. But for this one, it's going to be Peter Brothers you're going to keep an eye on. He's swimming in the middle of the pool at a lane 4. He will be your favorite. He won the 800, and he came in second in the 400. Now, he didn't qualify for World Championships with either of those races because he has not been under FINA A. He's represented Canada at the international level at the 2018 Pan Pacs. His best time, though, comes from 3 years ago at the 2016 season, 15:20. So he's our fastest seed with a best time of 15:20, and that FINA A cut 15:07. So a little bit unrealistic to see one of these swimmers. Doesn't mean we're going to have a lack of racing, though. We also have Rabin Doman having an awesome meet. He dropped 3 seconds and a lifetime best in the 800. Day one of this competition, he came 4th in that event. Speaking of best times, though, the other youngster will be swimming at a lane 6, McGillivray. He dropped a best time on Wednesday as well to snag the bronze medal in that 800. So not going to be a lack of racing here, that's for sure.
And ready now for the start in the 1500-meter freestyle. As you mentioned, we've got a couple youngsters in here, and not only are they vying for medals here at our national championships, but spots potentially on that World Juniors team. And to get down and to be in the selection pool, they're going to be looking to be down in and around 15:25. You mentioned Michael McGillivray. He was in the finals of the 400-meter freestyle. He was just over that cut that he needed to go. 800-meter freestyle, he picked up the bronze medal again, just over that cut. He's going to be very hungry here in the 1500, but he's going to have to watch out. Rabin Doman also in contention for the World Juniors in lane 3.
Yeah, both Doman and McGillivray have seen a lot of time drops here this meet. That's a good indicator that they're on top form, swimming well here. Out like a rocket, though, you're seeing right there. That's lane 7. Riley McRae having a great start in that first 100.
And McRae rabbiting out there in the first 100 meters, 58.17. Brothers sitting second in lane number 4. Third is Doman in lane number 3. McGilvery in lane number 6. Very controlled out in 1:00.81. He finishes like no one else, but he's just going to try stay in touch with the race leaders and then back end this race. That's the style of swim expect to see out of that McGilvery.
Yeah, and Brothers will be wearing the yellow cap in the middle of the pool, and he has the most experience out of this field, so he understands the idea of staying in your own lane, keeping to your own race strategy. I don't think it's too scary for him to see someone going out like a rocket out in lane 7. He's holding his composure very well, looking very relaxed there in the middle of the pool.
And Brothers pacing nice. He was right on his best time in the 400-meter freestyle, as close to it in the 800-meter freestyle that he won. He's sitting in second behind McRae, out quick in lane number 7, sitting third. Doman in lane number 3 in the green cap. And McRae in lane number 7, 1:59.90, 0.8 of a second up on Brothers in 4. Doman a second back in lane number 3, and McGilvery starting to move up in lane number 6 as he's moved up 2 spots to 7th.
Yeah, and you got to give Riley some credit here for going out like a rocket. I sure hope he's able to keep it going, because he's got a very 6-beat kick right now, and that usually doesn't last 30 lengths, but I would love to be proven wrong here. Out like a rocket there. That's McRae in 7. You're seeing flip first. Then it is Brothers. Their times 2:30.87 and 2:31.83 respectively.
So the gap has not really changed between McRae in 7 and Brothers in lane number 4. And as you said, pretty heavy on the kick for Riley McRae in lane number 7, Kamloops Classic. But hey, maybe he knows something that we don't, and we could be seeing a great swim out of the swimmer from Kamloops in 7 as we come to the 300 wall, just over 3-minute pace, 3:01.9, 9/10 back. It is Brothers in 4, Doman right there as well. And as we said, McGilvery edging up another position to 6th. He's back in 3:06.9, but he's starting to pick it up, his tempo and his kick.
Yeah, and you just watch the contrast there between Brothers and McRae. The kick, the 6-beat, the splash there out of McRae, and then Brothers completely relaxed there, swimming mostly upper body at the moment, knowing that he needs his legs for the second half of this race.
And as you said, Brothers with all of the experience in the field, he's been 15:20 before. That's not going to be fast enough to get onto the World Championship team. He needs to be 15:07 or better, but potentially he could be gearing up for a selection to Pan Ams or the World Student Games, as could Riley McRae. And then a couple juniors, you see him there in the green cap at the bottom of the screen, Rabin Doman, and just now edging into the screen in the white cap, that you saw was Michael McGilvery.
A great 100 there for Rabin Doman to make a little bit of ground up on Peter Brothers. They all flipped just above that 4-minute mark, 4:04.63 for our leader McRae, then Brothers with 4:05.38, following him Doman in a 4:06.
And moving from 6th to 4th, I'm keeping my eye on him in lane number 6, Michael McGilvery from the Regina Dolphins. He's making up ground every single length of this 1,500-meter freestyle.
Yeah, you're officially on McGilvery watch. We'll just keep you we'll keep you on that roll for the next little bit to make sure we're not forgetting about him, that's for sure. He's looking very strong there. He has a very high tempo, and we're seeing him just taking a breath every 2, very high in the water, consistent kick. You see a lot of different things when it comes to the 1,500 in terms of technique.
I like this get up and go swim out of McRae in lane number 7, holding nothing back on the front end, and he's still managing to hold the lead on Brothers and Doman as they come through the 500-meter mark at 5:07.7. The difference now is only a half second, but Brothers has not yet made his move to try and go by McRae. McRae still managing a fairly strong kick and a good tempo, your race leader in lane number 7.
Yeah, our 2 youngsters have a almost complete opposite technique here. We see McGilvery with a fast tempo, high in the water, almost a choppy stroke, and then a long, very smooth stroke there for Doman, swimming out of lane 3 in the green cap. He's looking nothing but relaxed, getting very long distance per stroke with each lap.
Now the difference between your top 3 swimmers is just over a second. McRae out in front, 5:39.0. Doman just 5:40.2. Not much of a difference there as Brothers and Doman in 4 and 3 are trying to reel in McRae, swimming out in lane number 7. This will be the 600-meter mark. We've got McGilvery sitting back in 4th, trying to get up to your race leaders. He wants to be eligible for that World Junior team, and he's going to need to get up to Doman in 3. McRae turning at 6:10.5, a half second up on Brothers in lane number 4.
And our fastest finisher this morning, Jacob Furlong, finished with a time of 15:54.33. Now these guys are on pace to break that by a lot. Important to note, though, he might edge out a couple of the guys in this heat to get himself in the top 10.
And where this is going to get very interesting is in the back half of the race. We're almost to the halfway point. That's the 650-meter mark at that last wall. And it's still McRae, Brothers, and then Doman. You can see the white cap of McGilvery trying to get up to the race leaders as they come to the 700-meter wall.
I'm still impressed with how long we've seen him hold on there. Riley McRae having the race of his life, absolutely going for it, and I love to see it. He comes in with the best time of 15:56.96, and he's going to be way under that if he can stay anywhere close to the pace he's holding right now.
He should absolutely crush that time, and you called it from the beginning, the 6-speed kick. He's managed to hold that 6-speed kick for now 725 meters. This next wall, this is going to mark the halfway point in our race. A lot of these swimmers take a strategy of out quick and hold as best they can. Some of them use that halfway point as a marker to pick it up and try and backhand or maybe even negative split the 1500.
Yeah, so negative splitting means you're coming back faster than you went out. But I'm continuously impressed there by Riley McRae. The consistency of his kick is outrageous, and I love when you see the effort coming out of the swimmer. But don't forget about McGilvery. Look at him come here. He is in the picture again, and he's there to battle with your leaders as we approach the 800-meter turn.
And Brothers has just gone by McRae, and McGilvery is just touching on Doman as they come to the 800-meter mark. And there goes Brothers, 8:14. McRae at 8:16.5. Doman there at 18:17.7. 3/10 back. It is McGilvery. But McGilvery is the swimmer with all of the momentum. In about 75 meters, if he holds up this pace, he's going to be right up with the leader Brothers.
It would be difficult to have that race strategy just knowing that you're going to have to catch up to people. You know, when they take off, you can't necessarily have the outspeed like they do and staying in your mind. Speaking of staying in your mind, this is absolutely where this race starts to get really tough. And don't get me wrong, it's tough from start to finish, but this is where we see the swimmers having to dig deep, having to push that next pace, having to really, really start using the rest of the tank that they've worked up. But this is a mental game for me. I firmly believe that the toughest swimmers are the ones that can keep it, you know, relaxed in their mind, knowing that, you know, they still have got over 500 to go in this race, and they've got to keep their head on straight.
And how mentally tough is this kid from Regina, McGilvery? He was 10th at the beginning of the race, and now he's within 7/10 of a second of overtaking the lead in lane number 4, Peter Brothers. Michael McGilvery all the way up to second right now.
Yeah, and I think within this flip or the next one, he's going to be in first. Brothers looking really relaxed. He looks like he's doing a race about twice as long as McGilvery is at the moment, and McGilvery obviously has proven his toughness this week, but a high tempo there for your second place at the moment. It is Brothers for 9:49.22, and just 4/10 back from him. Michael McGilvery out of lane number 6.
But Brothers looks so relaxed, and if we ever gets to pick up, I think we're going to see a change in his stroke, and it might just be motivated by McGilvery getting up to him. Brothers looking very smooth. McGilvery, he's going to be dead even about here at the 1,000-meter mark. 1/10 of a second is what separates Brothers and McGilvery. 500 meters left in third. It is McRae swimming in lane number 7. Doman dropping back to fourth here in lane number 3 in the green cap. And McGilvery, it looks like McGilvery has edged just ahead of Brothers. He was 1/10 of a second back at that 1,000 wall. And at the 10:50, it should be McGilvery turning first in lane number 6. And there we go. Now McGilvery with the lead, 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, and he's looking very strong here. Obviously, the hardest part for him would have to be being patient, knowing your race strategy, knowing where your strengths lie, and battling down here as we get ready for this last 400. But as mentioned, half a body length here on Peter Brothers, and it looks like Brothers is fatiguing, although we haven't seen his legs so much yet, so he might have a final push there to battle against McGilvery.
And he very well may have a final push, but he's breathing the opposite side that McGilvery is swimming. I know he knows that he's there, but by the next time that Brothers spots him and turns to his right to see McGilvery's going to be 5 meters up on him. And McGilvery making his move here. Maybe he knows that Brothers can't see him, as the gap is now stretched out to 1.4 seconds now for McGilvery in lane number 7. Number 6, sorry.
You could just see that added bit of oomph into McGilvery right now that Peter Brothers is lacking as we come into the last 300 of this race. McGilvery really looking for that first national title. He's made the podium before, but he hasn't gotten himself atop the podium, so that would be a great accomplishment here for this Olympic distance going 1 year out of the Tokyo Games.
He's really going to have to pick it up here over the last 300 meters. He wants to be down at 15:25, which is the automatic consideration for the World Junior team. And if not that time, he's going to want to be as close as he possibly can. Doesn't look like any of these boys are getting down to 15:07. So we're looking to see McGilvery, one of our junior swimmers. He was on the Junior Pan Pacific team last summer. He swam at the Open Water World Junior Championships as well. Now he wants to get onto the World Junior Championships in the pool in the 1500. He had a great 4, a great 8. And he's having a very solid 1500. He's coming in with the best time of 15:44. He's going to be well underneath that time.
And although we saw it in lane 7, out like a rocket, Riley McRae, he did fall back, but he's still in podium contention. There's a great race right now for a bronze medal here. I'm still impressed. He's holding a consistent 6-beat kick. Amazed to see. I would love to watch his kick sets.
And he's losing a little bit of strength in his arms, but he's still kicking great. McRae swimming in lane number 7. Doman up there in the green cap in lane number 3, and moving up in lane number 2, Nicholas Massavard trying to stay on the podium position. He's currently in 3rd, swimming in lane 2.
Yeah, and he's looking like he has the most in this final push. That's Nicholas Massavard fighting for bronze now at a lane 2. Right now you see your leaders, Peter Brothers, staying within distance of McGilvery, and you see every time McGilvery flips, he takes a really big breath, and it's taking a lot of his speed and momentum off of the flip turn, and that's exactly where Brothers is able to catch up some ground.
A very good point, Brittany. For all of you young swimmers watching, do not breathe that first stroke off the wall. You're going to get a pull buoy or a kickboard upside the head by your coach one of these days if you continue to do that. 100 meters to go for McGilvery. He is working this one, 14:29.0, 0.5 of a second up on Peter Brothers in lane number 4. Let's see if McGilvery still has anything left in the tank. We've not seen the legs go yet from Brothers, but he's starting it now.
Yeah, Brothers saved his legs exactly when he knew he needed them, and he's looking to be up back in first place. What a fight there for McGilvery to give him a run for his money. This is going to be an exciting finish on this final 50 of the men's 1500.
Brothers is edged out ahead now by 0.8 of a second. McGilvery will get to see where he is, and McGilvery answering back. Look at the legs by Michael McGilvery trying to get back up to the leader, Peter Brothers in lane 4.
And what an awesome finish here.
Brothers is looking to hold off in lane number 4. McGilvery working to get back up there, but it's going to be Peter Brothers, 15:27.16. What a gutsy come from behind swim though by Michael McGilvery. 0.4 of a second back in lane number 6, 15:27.62.
And Brothers just let himself be almost, it was kind of a cat and mouse game, and Brothers just stayed neutral throughout. He kept his ground. He stayed in the middle of the pool. He stayed in striking distance. He never let anyone get too far ahead or behind him. And then just when it mattered most, decided he wanted to bring his legs in for that final 100, and it really paid off there. He is our national champion, 15:27.16. And that's close to his best time, definitely closest he's been in the last little while. And a new best time there for McGillivray. What a great performance we saw, 15:27.62. For a 1500 to come down to 0.5 of a second, you can't complain about that kind of race.
No, a 17-second drop for McGillivray. Great effort by him, almost to that World Junior standard. Still eligible for consideration for selection. We'll have to wait till later tonight to see if he manages to get himself onto that World Junior team.
And we see our bronze medal going out of lane 2, Nicholas Massavard with a time of 15:39.55. So a great swim out of him, another personal best. So
well, that was Victor Johansson. He was factored in when it just flashed up on your screen, but he's not eligible for medals. He's a foreign national swimmer. So it will be the bronze medal going to Massavard in 15:39, as you said. Silver medal to McGillivray with a gutsy performance, the youngster out of Regina, but gold going to Peter Brothers from the University of Calgary Swim Club in a time of 15:27.16.
And I'm guessing we're gearing up for another set of podium performances. Starting with our women's 800-meter freestyle.
Ladies and gentlemen, your national champion tonight in the 1500 freestyle, Peter Brothers, University of Calgary, 15:27.16. An exciting 1500 final here tonight.
Yeah, it's good to make it exciting. I didn't intentionally try and move that much in the race, but it's what happens in a mile, and that's what I get excited for in a race.
So you had Riley McRae in lane 7 who went out pretty fast, and you were about a body length back. Could you see him the whole time?
No, I was more focused on Michael. He was kind of out there from the start, and yeah, it's good to have someone there with you to work through the pain.
Working through the pain. Now, you really fought back to really take back the lead and eventually hang on to win. Did you see him coming on that last 50 as well? Because we've seen McGillivray do that in the past, run people down in the final 100.
Oh, yeah, I mean, everyone lifts in the last 50. You just got to be able to put yourself in a good spot. And I think my last 200 was good in that race to put myself in a position to win. So,
was it about the win tonight or about the time? Are you happy with the 15:27 tonight?
Yeah. I mean, the win is always the best part, but the time is getting there, and I think I have some more work to do this summer.
Well, congratulations on the win here tonight. Peter Brothers in the men's 1500 freestyle, 15:27.16.
I saw Taylor right there, and I was like, can't even believe I'm with Taylor at all because she's like insanely fast, but like, I just tried to be in the race as much as I could. I think it's gonna be really fun.
I think a big part of relays is you're not swimming for yourself, you're swimming for your team and your country.
And I think up next we're going to have some award presentations, Brittany, in the 800-meter freestyle event.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the results for the U Sport Championship. So as mentioned, our bronze medalist there swims for the University of Calgary, Mare Anderson, and she was second. The runner-up, the winner of that event at U Sports was actually Emily Overholt. We didn't see her swimming that here. But Maren dropping a full 8 seconds off the time she went just a month and a half ago. So a great swim for her and a big turnaround from her to come from the B final in the 400 and then take home a bronze medal here in the 800.
Yeah, Merritt Anderson, best time, 8:42.35, picking up the bronze medal for the University of Calgary Swim Club. Emma O'Cronin, the young 15-year-old, up on the podium again, just as she was in the 400-meter freestyle, 8:39.63 for Edmonton Keano.
Yeah, and although I would have loved to watch, another battle neck and neck with the Mackenzie and Emma, it is still a personal best time there for Emma. She's had a tough week. I can't even imagine what it would have been to make a team at 15 years old and have to deal with those emotions and the excitement. So for her to get up on the last day of the meet and still put up a performance like that, I'm super impressed with it, and I'm looking forward to getting to cheer her on in the years to come.
And there they are, your 3 medalists in the women's 800-meter freestyle, Anderson, O'Cronin, and Paddington.
And there we have it. Those are our top 3 in the women's 800-meter freestyle. Now we're getting ready to change the tempo. We just saw the longest race in the program, and now we're getting ready to watch the splash and dash, the fastest race that exists in the sport of swimming, the 50-meter freestyle.
And the 50-meter freestyle, we're going to have a B final first, followed by an A final. The top qualifier in our B final from London Aquatic Club, you're going to see her in lane number 4, Sherry Huddle. 26:17. Sarah Watson from University of Manitoba in lane number 5, also going the same time this morning. These girls looking to crack that 26 mark for the very first time. Fina A-Cut, which will be a consideration in our next heat, 25:04, Canadian record, 24:26, set last spring by Taylor Ruck.
Yeah, and Ruck, unfortunately, we won't see her race this one here, but it doesn't mean we won't see some fast 50 freestyles, that's for sure. This one's all about getting your head down, getting that motor running, and having a great start and a great finish.
And the middle of the pool now coming to the end, and it's going to be Sarah Watson, lane number 5, 25:81. Great swim for her. Cherry Huddle also under 26 seconds, 25:95 for second. Big smile there from Sarah Watson, happy to be under 26.
And this is a race we're going to see really close times when comparing them to one another. So don't be surprised if there's only a couple hundredths or tenths of a second separating our leader all the way down to the rest of the podium, all the way down to the 10th place position. It's going to be close, that's for sure.
The top qualifier is going to be Sarah Fournier, lane number 4. She swam 25:49 this morning. Kyla Sanchez, she's the second qualifier from Ajax. She was 25:66. She's the only swimmer, though, in the field who's been underneath the Fina A-Cut. 24:94 is her best time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on Sanchez. She swims at a lane 5 here. Lane 4, the top seed, we won this event at last year's trial to upset the whole field. She has a best time of 25:33, and she swam her first Canadian national team at Pan Pacs Tokyo last year. She will definitely be one to keep an eye out for. Also keep an eye out for Allison Ackman. She had an awesome swim in the morning sessions throughout this meet, but hasn't been able to transfer it over to finals. So that's going to be an interesting one. Definitely another one to watch. Maggie McNeil, she's at a lane 2, having an amazing meet, having an amazing season. She was the top time in the world in the 100 fly. She did that just 2 days ago. Then there's someone like Hannah Henderson who trains every day with names like Penny Alexiak, Kayla Sanchez, Taylor Ruck. So she's definitely seen a lot of experience. She has lane 6 as well. Taylor Ruck, though, unfortunately not in this race. She's our Canadian record holder. Her time, 24:26, was set at the 2018 Commonwealth Games. That Fina A-Cut, the one to watch out for, 25:04. We're looking to get 2 girls under the time, but as you mentioned, Sanchez is the only one that's been under it previously.
And Sanchez, all eyes will be on her in lane number 5. My dark horse pick, though, Maggie McNeil in lane number 2, the winner of the 100-meter butterfly, the fastest swimmer in the world so far in that event. And a solid start. Let's not forget Sanchez. She broke the world's junior record short course meters back at the end of November in a local meet here. And she's been underneath this Fina A-Cup before. You see her in the middle lane with the black cap. 2 swimmers with black caps in lanes 4 and 5 as they come to the finish. It is a dead heat as they come to the wall. And it is our dark horse pick, Maggie McNeil, 25:40, 5/100ths of a second ahead of Fournier. Sanchez in for third in a 25:55.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they were a little bit off that Fina A-Cut, so maybe be able to comprise our team of comprise that event with one of our team members already selected for World Championships, but a great race coming down to the final touch. Our podium within 15/100ths of a second. Hannah Henderson, a great race out of there. She's really bringing herself from an age group level swimmer up to the senior level. I think next year, this time, it's going to be very exciting.
And Henderson doing a great job. Her best time coming into this event was a 26.0. So she took off a half second. A great swim for the youngster from Etobicoke Swimming. And we mentioned earlier the boys' record at the Canada Games. She is the athletes' record. 13 medals at the 2017 Canada
Ladies and
Games.
gentlemen, your
The
national
single
champion
most
of the 50 freestyle, Maggie McNeil from the London Aquatic Club, 25.40 here tonight, a best time. And the 50 is always fun. It's just about getting your hand on the wall.
Yeah, definitely. I think just having it be the last event today was a really good way to finish off the meet.
You've had a great week so far. You're qualified for selection for the World Championships this summer. Any memories from this week here in the Canadian Swimming Trials?
Everything. It was like unbelievable, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
So from here, you're going to go back. You're going to get back in the pool and start training as you get set for Korea in July. Anything specific you're going to be working on with your coaches?
The underwater, always.
Always the underwater. Congratulations, Maggie McNeil, your national champion in the 50 free.
And a solid swim for McNeil out of there in the 50-meter freestyle. Our national champion, 25.40.
We can't call her our dark horse too much longer because she's now going to be the favorite, that's for sure. Meet of her life here in Toronto. Maggie McNeil, a name you're going to be seeing for quite some time.
On to the boys' race now. This is going to be our B final. Top seed, 22.59 in lane number 4. Nikola Milenic. He is a foreign national swimmer. Top Canadian, Philippe Marceau from University of Laval. He swam 23.31. He'll be swimming in lane 3. And Milenic in lane number 4, the one to watch, 22.59. He's a half second better than any of these other swimmers here that swam this morning. He's in the middle between the yellow lanes. He's swimming unattached. And Milenic with a straight overarm stroke coming in lane number 4, 22.56, 3/100ths of a second, better than he was this morning.
And it's so hard in a race that is so short to, fine-tune things and make improvements. It's going to come down to the details. Sometimes it's the luck of the draw when you're able to, get that turnover. And if you've had a good start, it means everything. It's all about the breakout, the first couple strokes, lack of oxygen. I'm sure you're used to seeing. You don't see many people breathe on that 50-meter freestyle. It's all about, all they have to do is get one lap down the pool and as fast as possible. But there requires a lot of fine-tuning of different details.
And Philippe Marceau, the top Canadian, finishing third, 23.15, a 16/100th of a second drop from his morning swim. We're going to have awards presentations coming up here shortly for the men's 1,500-meter freestyle before we move to our A final of the 50. And the A final of the 50, the swimmers are going to be looking to get down to 22.18 or better. That's the FINA A standard. Kissel, our top seed, has been underneath that. He was a bronze medalist last summer at the Pan Pacific Championships. That event will be coming up shortly.
Yeah, so these guys worked very hard for their medals here tonight, swimming for just over 15 minutes, but we're now celebrating our top 3 finishers in the men's 1500.
And bronze medal going to Mass Savard for his swim.
Still feeling the pain from that race.
Might still be trying to swim that one out. Silver medal for our youngster from Regina. What a great finish he had. Wading through almost the entire race and getting up to the lead and battling with Peter Brothers for that silver and that bronze. A 17-second drop for McGilvery.
Yeah, and if he were racing anyone else, he would have swam that so smart, making his push in that final half of the race, but wasn't quite enough to get the back-end speed that Peter Brothers had in that last 200. All legs there for Brothers as he was saving them that whole way.
And Peter Brothers, a good win for him. That's his second national title of the weekend. Coaches in there getting some victory shots of their athletes on the podium here in the men's 1500 meter freestyle. Oh, and there's our bronze medalist. From Camo, Nicholas Massavard.
Yeah, and as we get set for this A final of the men's 50-meter freestyle, this is another one of those races that it still stands. That Canadian record still stands from that Super Sioux era. One of the fastest meets in the world has ever seen was the Rome 2009 World Championships, and that's where Brent Hayden set the Canadian record. Another name in Canadian legacy as we speak about some of the best we've ever had. His Canadian record, 21.73. Now, Yuri Kissel has been decently close to that. We call him Kissel the Missile for a reason. He's swimming on a lane 4 tonight. He has the best time of 22.02. Only one in the field to previously get under that FINA A cut of 22.18. And he came this year to Toronto to train under Petitley at HPC Ontario. He's very familiar with this pool as he, has a lot of experience also in the international stage. Bronze medal at Pan Pacs. Also has to drop 0.3 from his time this morning, which in a 50 is quite a lot of time. He is on this World Championship team, but he's only in it as a relay swimmer, so he's going to want to get an individual event here.
And he's got to get down right at his lifetime best, 22 zeros that he did this summer. Pisani, you see, he's on the team. He made it as a part of the relay. Joshua Lendo, he's set 3 national age group marks already this week. He was only 3 100s off of that national age group mark this morning, a mark held by Yuri Kessel of 22.81, set back in 2013.
Yeah, and if you blink, you're going to miss this one. So we also have Loganov in lane 3. His one and only event. He's swimming here at the Pan Am Games and at 2017 World Championships. You spoke about Leendo, though. Coming into this event, he was ranked 19th, but he is having a record-breaking meet here. Keep an eye on him in a lane 6. Pisani, though, on fire as well. He was the winner of the 50 fly. He's swimming in lane 5.
And it's a quick start for our men here in the 1500 meter freestyle. Yuri Kissel, he's been down underneath that cut. You see him in lane number 4 in the black cap. Lane number 5 beside him, William Pisani out to an early lead. But here comes Yuri Kissel in lane number 4. Kissel and Pisani, Leendo there as well. 22.18's the cut. 22.23 for Kissel. Pisani right there, 22.30. Mehdi Ayubi coming in for the bronze, out-touching Leendo, 22.50, but that is a new national age group mark for Josh Lendo, 22.69, taking 12 100s off the standard set by your national champion, Yuri Kissel, time he did in 2013.
Yeah, and he's going to continue to make improvements on that record as he's got a bit of time still left in that age group. Josh Leendo is going to definitely make a mark on the Junior World Championships this summer, that's for sure.
Leendo coming down 7/10 on the day. Yuri Kissel, 22.23, 5 100ths of a second over that standard. But as he's already a part of the team, may still get the opportunity to race that event as a top Canadian at the World Championships. We'll have to wait and see as Chris Heinmark Watson comes to interview your national champion in the 50-meter freestyle, Yuri Kissel.
Ladies and gentlemen, on deck now, national champion in the 50 freestyle tonight, Yuri Kissel, 22.23, a little bit off at FINA standard time, but a win here and another national championship title.
Yeah, I'm happy with the win. Wish I could have been a little faster, but save it for the summer.
And a little bittersweet as well, because you held the national age group record that Josh Leendo just broke, coming 4th there in lane number 6. It's great to see some of these younger swimmers stepping up and breaking those records.
Yeah, it's awesome. I actually get to train with Josh every so often, and great kid. He's a hell of a competitor, so it's fun.
It's going to be fun. Congratulations, Yuri. Best of luck this summer. You're national champion of the 50 free, 22.23 for Yuri Kissel.
And Yuri has now put himself in the names of the veterans we speak on this World Championship team coming up this summer. Made his first team, I believe it was about 2013, 2014, and ever since then has consistently been one of those names we've seen on a national team. So it's great to see some of that experience really influencing some of our new members on Team Canada.
And a good swim by Kissel here in April to win the 50-meter freestyle. We're going to be moving on to our next set of events. It's going to be the 50-meter freestyle for our women in the Paralympic category, another multi-class event. Some of the swimmers that we saw earlier tonight are racing again here in the 50, their second race of the evening, including our top seed, Orle Rivard from the University of Laval, 28.84 this morning.
Yeah, and it's great to have them practice doing multiple events in one evening. They get that world-class experience here under their own home and in Toronto in a Canadian pool. Samantha Ryan was our gold medalist earlier tonight in that women's 200-meter individual medley. She swims here in lane 3.
And Rivard, who was 28.8 this morning, her sea time is 27.72. So we'll see where she gets to.
And Morgan Bird, swimming out of lane 6, is another one of those veterans that you speak of on the Paralympic team. She's been to, I believe, multiple Paralympic Games and 2 Paralympic Games, and is someone that we've seen on this national team for quite some time. She's swimming out of lane 6 there for the Cascade Swim Club.
And here we go now with the start of our women's 50-meter freestyle for our Paralympic athletes. Again, top seed by time in number 4 is Rivard at 28.84. Ready now for our final. And we are off, and 27.7 is the fastest time any of these athletes have gone before, and that is Rivard in lane number 4, and she's looking very strong, off to a very good start. Rivard in lane number 4, tremendous kick as she gets out and in front of the field, just less than 5 meters to go now as she passes the flags. Rivard in lane number 4 hitting the wall, 27.84, just a tenth of a second over her best time. A solid swim for Rivard to hit the wall first. Second, 30.29, that is lane number 5, Ariana Hunsaker. And coming in third, Samantha Ryan, time of 30.86.
We've officially finished the female events on the para level at this competition, and they have been nothing but exciting. We have our final finisher coming in there. You're seeing at the moment, that is Nikita N swimming at a lane 9 for Laser Swim Club. Her time this morning, 1:20.05, so she's going to be very close to that here tonight.
And she broke a Canadian record earlier tonight at the beginning of the night, and it is Nikita N's Canadian record holder in the 150-meter individual medley, dropping 3 seconds to go 1:17.02.
And as we did with the other events, we're going to wait and see who our podium finishers were. But very, very impressed by our para-national team here in Toronto. They've put on a show for us as spectators and definitely made themselves one to watch when it comes to the World Championships and Para-Pan Am Games this summer.
And very solid swimming out of our ladies. We will see which of them are named to the Canadian team that will compete at the Para World Championships and the Para Pan American Games in Lima, Peru. And up next, our final event of the night and of the weekend. This will be the men's 50-meter freestyle in the Paralympic category.
And they're just gearing up in that ready room, getting ready for their final march out. As you mentioned, our last race here at the 2019 Canadian Trials, and it's been quite the weekend.
It has, and on so many different levels, whether it is the national age group level where we've seen all of those records, 11 records now with Josh Lendo in the national age group category, 13 para records, and 3 Canadian senior records. Oh, and that was one more added in the para category here.
Nikita Enns just set a new Canadian record out of lane 9. We spoke about her dropping 3 seconds from her time this morning. So that new barrier she just set in 1 minute and 17 seconds and a couple milliseconds there, 0-2.
And here we go, our last event, our last race of the night. After this, we're going to have some medal presentations as well as a presentation of Canada's senior national teams in both the para category and those swimmers going to the World Championships.
And there we have it, our top qualifier this morning, Alexander Elliott. We saw him win already the 200 IM here. We saw him win the 400 freestyle here. We saw him win the 100 freestyle here, having an amazing meet there, looking for another personal best time tonight.
And Elliott this morning, 25.86. Turbide beside him in lane number 5, just 7/100ths of a second. We should have a good race between these two swimmers. Elliott competing in S10 category and Turbide in the S13 category. Just 7/100ths of a second apart this morning as we get set for the men's final in the Paralympic 50-meter freestyle. And a good start for these men as they dive in. Keep your eye on lane number 4 and lane number 5. Elliott and Turbide. Again, just 7/100ths of a second separating the two of them this morning. It was Elliott in lane number 4 from Laval at 25.86. Turbide right now the early leader at the top of your screen in the yellow lanes. Turbide, and to the left in the middle at the wall, very close. Turbide getting the touch by 1/100th of a second. Talk about a close race. 25.50 to Elliott's 25.51. Matt Trebia 27.95, hitting the wall third.
That was an awesome embrace and an awesome race there for your two leaders. Nicholas Turbide also having a great meet here, 25.50, dropping about 3/10 from the time he had this morning. And then Alex Elliott ending off the program very strong here with a 25.51, also dropping a couple tenths of a second. But again, you saw he has more of a relaxed tempo as Guy Turbide just goes for it. And so it was fun to watch them go neck and neck. And then Alex really closed on him coming home, but it wasn't enough there to catch Turbide. He is your new national champion, or it appears to be right now from CNQ, 25.50, his final time.
And it looks like unofficially Trebia getting the bronze from Cobra, Elliott silver, and Turbide getting the gold. We'll wait to see if those are our final unofficial results, but that is as it stands at the moment. And I think we've got a short video presentation before we move on to our final set of awards presentations, and then the presentation of our national
Ladies and
team.
gentlemen, we're on deck now with Cobra Swim Club's Matthew Trebia. Congratulations on your swim here tonight. I know it's 2/10 off what you were aiming for, 27.95, but still great to be competing here at the Canadian Swimming Trials.
It's been an awesome awesome event. All the noise in the crowd. It's been a memorable week. The race felt pretty good. I'm pretty happy. Just getting this close to the Canadian record makes it even more sweeter when we break it.
Do you have a target on when you're going to do that? I mean, obviously you want to try and hit that every time you race, but what's up next for you after these trials? When's your next event?
I'll be competing at the World Para Series in Italy at the end of May, and if not then for sure Provincials back here in June.
Well, congratulations on your performances this week. Matthew Trebia, congratulations, and best of luck at the World Series event at the end of April.
And Matt Trebia from Cobra Swimming, right on the cusp of the Canadian record in the 50-meter freestyle in his Medal presentations now. For our men's 50-meter freestyle, and Kyla Sanchez from Ajax picking up the bronze medal, 25.55. Silver going to Sarah Fournier from CNQ, 25.45. And a very solid swim from your winner from the London Aquatic Club, Maggie McNeil, winning 25.40, taking more than 6/10 off of her lifetime best to be your national champion.
Congratulations, ladies. Félicitations, Noémie. We will ask Michelle Toro to present the awards for the men's 50 freestyle. Nous procédons à la remise de médaille chez les hommes, 50 mètres de style, la remise à l'effectuée par Michel Toro.
Now awards presentations for the men in the 50-meter freestyle. Bronze medal in the best time to Camo's Mehdi Ayubi. His time 22.50. Will Pisani, who's on the team going to the World Championships, picks up the silver in a best time of 22.30. And the gold medal will go to Yuri Kissel from the Whitby Dolphins, a time of 22.23.
And your gold medalist of the Médaille d'Or, national champion for the Whitby Dolphins, Yuri Kissel. Congratulations, gentlemen.
And there are silver and our bronze medalists in the 50-meter freestyle. Awards presentations now for the women in the Paralympic category.
And we saw more records fall here as another Canadian record falls here.
Presenting the awards, please welcome the Director of Operations for Swimming Canada, Brian Eady. La remise de médaille sera effectuée par le directeur des opérations Natation Canada, Brian Eady.
And we're getting ready, as just announced, Brian Eady will be presenting the awards for our top 3 finishers in the women's para multi-class 50 freestyle.
And Brian Eady, Director of Operations of Swimming Canada. I used to coach him about 25 years ago when he was a young swimmer at the Edmonton Keanu Swim Club.
Silver medalist, médaille d'argent from the Cascade Swim Club, Morgan Bird.
Marion Hunsiker grabbing bronze from the Surrey Knights. Morgan Bird from Cascade taking silver, her time 32.30.
And we talked about the experience on the Paralympic team, but she's definitely a name you think about when you think about success long term for our program in Canada. Morgan Bird there from Cascade, 32.30, her final time. Just off her personal best there. Rivard touching in a 27.84, about a 10th over what she's been in her life. So great signifying point here. And she'll grow on that a couple months from now at the World Championships.
Congratulations, ladies. Félicitations, Noémie. We will ask Brian Eady to present the awards for the men's para swimming 50 freestyle. Procédons maintenant à la remise de médaille pour les hommes 50 mètres de style de Prada. La remise sera effectuée par Brian Eady. Your bronze medalist, médaille de bronze from the Cobra Swim Club, Matthew Chabraya.
And there's Shariah. We just saw him interviewed by Chris Mark Watson. He picked up the bronze medal in this 50 right on that Canadian record pace. Not quite there, but he's gunning for it either at the Para World Series event happening in Italy at the end of May. Look at this, only 1/100th of a second separating these two swimmers. Elliott from Laval, 25.51, taking the silver, and Nicholas Guy Turbide, 25.50, taking the gold.
I think he was getting a little too comfortable on the top of the podium, so this is a good thing for Alex Elliott there from UL, 25.51. But our end of the meet was not lacking excitement, that's for sure. Guy Turbide stands on top of the podium there, 25.50 in the men's multi-class 50 freestyle.
I think that's been the closest race we've seen here in our men's para swimming, and 1/100th of a second, and it does not get closer than that. A great way to finish off our event here at the 2019 Canadian Swimming Trials.
Don't go anywhere yet, folks. Coming up in just a few moments, we will have our
And we're going to have a few highlight videos before we present our teams. Should be able to present the team competing at the World Championships in Korea. Compete later in July, and also be able to present our team competing at the Para World Championships later this fall.
No, I was saying he's used to being a dolphin at UBC. You know what I mean? He's probably just like, oh, what is the same animal that I... No, I swam for Easton my whole life, so...
Yeah, no, what actually the AF down there, the French announcer, he's coaching with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just said he, head coach, is happy to be around.
That's so funny. Oh my god. Yeah, that makes me laugh really hard. Yeah, because I know they have to be affiliated, but usually you see like Toronto, Ajax, even Nyack. So I was just confused. I was like, where are these commercials? I know, and then we just get cut off. We could like do a full recap of the meet and then.
We didn't have this problem in 2016 because CBC and Southern came in for the production part of it. And so we have, the full meal deal. We have the headsets.
Yeah, were you doing it?
I did.
Okay.
Webcast then, yeah. We did that with it's a lot easier. And on my list too, I told them we have to be back down on the gap. There are a million ways to do this and to make it work. So
Yeah.
it's got to be back down.
Yeah.
Are you doing World Championships or anything for CBC this summer?
No. I'd like to be around for trials next year. That would be fun, but. Yeah, I'm actually like excited for this part because I have no idea who's going to be on all these teams. Like it's all just up in the air, especially like World University Games. Like
Yeah. Like World University,
is
Pan Am.
is Pan Am B and then World?
No, so it goes like this. It goes World Juniors is the second priority, but for those
Oh, I thought he said no to Worlds, but then yes to the other ones, or no?
Maybe that's what it was. I just assumed that.
Swim of the meet for the Olympic program events is based on the 2018 world rankings. The women's swim of the meet from the Toronto Swim Club, Kylie Moss. Ask Kylie to make her way to the awards podium area, please. On the men's side of the Olympic programs, your swim of the meet. You won 4 national titles this week in the 100 and 200 freestyle, 100 and 200 backstroke from the UBC Thunderbird Swim Club, Marcus Thormeyer.
And we're just presenting our swims of the meet now, and it's going to be Kylie Moss on the women's side of our competition. And Marcus Thormeyer, he won 4 individual events. His only 4 individual events. He is the male swimmer of the meet. And it looks like his prize is a water bottle. Kylie Moss, the women's swimmer of the meet, representing Toronto Swim Club, and Marcus Thormeyer, the UBC Dolphins.
Both setting national records here, which is a super impressive feat to do in April, especially when they know they've got a lot ahead of them this summer. Marcus being a 4-time national champion here, probably the first to ever do that in some time, if not ever. So quite the accomplishment there for Thormeyer.
And I think the unique thing about Thormeyer's wins is that it was the 1-2 free and the 1-2 back, which I don't think has been done before. Kylie Moss, she did put up the world-leading time in the 200-meter backstroke. It was beaten the next day, but only by a tenth of a swimmer. The Italian swimmer just ahead of Moss, so that's going to be a very competitive event later on this summer. And the men's Paralympic male swimmer of the meet. And that goes to
Nicholas
Ravensons.
Bennett.
Yeah, Nick Bennett, the young boy, 15 years old.
Congratulations to Ali Van Winsmart and Nicholas Bennett. And Kylie Moss and Marcus Thormeyer are swimmers of the meet here at the 2019 Canadian Swimming Trials.
Ali Van Wicksmart, the female Paralympic swimmer of the meet from Variety Village, up there on the podium now.
Congratulations.
Big smiles there. Both of them had such successful weekends from start to finish, racing multiple events, improving their best times, setting Canadian records, and both very young, so a lot left ahead for those 2 names.
Natation Canada souhaite reconnaître la dédication de certains officiels aux championnats internationaux cet été.
Swimming Canada would now like to recognize the Swimming Canada technical officials who will be nominated to attend international events this summer. To the 18th FINA World Championships in Gwangju, South Korea, from Quebec, Cynthia Pincott.
And these are some of our Swimming Canada officials that have been selected to officiate at our highest level international events, including Cynthia Pincott, who's going to the World Championships in South Korea. That on our screen is Rob Fillion. He'll be going to the World Junior Championships in Budapest.
World Paraswimming World Championships from Alberta, Glennis Mossy.
We also have going to the Pan American Games in Lima, Julia Gay. The World Championships for Paraswimming, Glennis Mossy. Pan American Games, we got a number of Canadian officials, including Jocelyn McLean, Charles Montpetit, Jeff Holmes, Sheila Genther, Simon Murkowski. Our Ioana Junior Open Water Championships are going to be officiated by Francois Desmarais.
And what I like about this moment is this group is so used to being behind the scenes when it comes to a meet like this, but it's nice for them to be accomplished, acknowledged. Sorry, it's been a long 5 days apparently for me. It is nice for them to be acknowledged here on the last night of competition. Obviously, they're also representing us on the international stage. So and they do so much hard work for a meet like this to even be possible. So very grateful for our officiating staff and proud that they're able to represent us when it comes to these international meets.
A very dedicated group of volunteers. They've all been here for the entire week, giving up their time, an integral part of hosting a large competition like this. And here they're being recognized for their upcoming international participation. A number of officials representing Canada off to the World Championships and other international events this summer.
It's been my first kind of performance both this morning and tonight that have been close to my best time. It definitely is really reassuring and gives me confidence moving forward.
I'm just trying to do the best I can, and if the best I can is a new Canadian record, then I'm happy with that.
It's definitely one of my main events. It's the last one that I medaled at the last World, so I'm happy. I mean, the time is what it is.
Just to make the team feels good. I wish I went a little bit faster than, 17.8, but got some time to work on things, try and get a little bit quicker in the next couple months.
Well, I mean, it's crazy, really. Like, I didn't really think I would make it, but I'm happy with that.
I'm not really sure what to say right now. I'm really happy with how it turned out.
When young kids make the team for the first time, it just brings me so much joy for them.
I've only been under the FINA A, I think, twice now, so I knew it was a little bit of a long shot to get there this meet, and the training was there, and I was just happy to see that I got under the cut.
Je m'attendais pas vraiment à faire une
contre le Canadien à cette compétition-là. Mon objectif, c'est juste de faire l'équipe.
Overall, I'm pretty excited just to know that I'm on the team, know that I'm racing my event, and know the girls that are on the relay.
I just got a lot of depth. I think this is the first time we've had 4 guys that go 49.5 or faster, so I think it's looking good going to Worlds.
It's going to be a good team.
I saw Taylor right there, and I was like, can't even believe I'm with Taylor at all because she's like insanely fast, but like, I just tried to be in the race as much as I could. I think it's gonna be a really fun.
I think that a big part of relays is you're not swimming for yourself, you're swimming for your team and your country.
Canada's chicken farmers care about raising quality chicken you can trust.
From coast to coast, we follow a mandatory, independently audited animal care program. It was developed by Canadians, including animal welfare experts, veterinarians, researchers, and people just like you.
It's uniquely Canadian. It's ours.
This is my farm.
This is my farm.
This is my farm.
This is my farm. This is my farm.
Yeah, I'm just amazed. I am happy to see her conversion over down to by far her favorite race is to swim, so now she gets to completely focus on that moving forward. This is her bread and butter and will continue to be. I do believe, though, that my highlight has to be continuing to see our juniors step up and do some things that are impressive. And as we wait and hear for this announcement, not only for our senior teams, our junior teams, I think what I'm most excited for is our junior world championship team to be announced momentarily. I think our junior world championship team is going to be world class this summer at the meet.
I think the junior team has got a huge upside to it. We saw all sorts of juniors who were right there on the cusp of making that senior team, and so they're going to be sitting and positioned very well when it comes to the World Junior Championships. We did get a couple juniors that managed to jump up and get into that senior team. They'll also have that opportunity to compete at the World Juniors, along with a very, very strong contingent of Canadians at the junior level.
Yeah, it was fun to watch them step up and put themselves in a position to race to that senior level. And I think those that narrowly missed our senior team are going to get a lot of experience at the Junior World Championships this summer and use that as a growth opportunity and learning opportunity as they're getting set to prepare for the Olympic trials next year.
And I think that's just about it for us, Brittany. We've had a great week of racing, fantastic results across the board. More than 25 Canadian records broke at the para level, the national age group record level, and 3 at the senior level. It's been an excellent meet, so I'd like to thank you for joining me. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us here at the 2019 Canadian Swimming Trials. I'm Jason Pratt. I've had an absolutely phenomenal time here with Brittany McLean. Hopefully we'll see you all back here 1 year from now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jason. It has been an absolute pleasure, and everyone make sure to stay tuned for our team announcement coming up momentarily.
We thank everyone for your patience so far. The selection teams are working on finalizing all the lists, and as soon as we have them, we will get to announcing our teams for this summer. But first, I'd like to welcome back to the like they just wrapped up the webcast upstairs. Jason Pratt and Brittany McLean, your webcast hosts for this week. Thanks for all your work. And Jake, first with you, a couple thoughts on the week. Like, what stands out to you as a couple of the swims that you really enjoyed seeing here this week?
As always, I thought some of those junior swimmers standing up and getting themselves to the senior team or into contention for the senior team, that was really special. But I think what really resonated with me all weekend was those bounce back swims that we had after disappointment the night before, coming back the following day and getting themselves onto the team.
Yeah, a lot of leadership and seniority really being displayed there by those swimmers being able to bounce back. Now, one thing that a lot of you might not know, but his son, Cole Pratt, had a pretty good week here at the Canadian Swimming Trials, and somehow he contained himself on that webcast and didn't go too crazy. Is that right, Britt? Did he contain himself?
It was unbelievable. I had to shout him out at the end of one night. He holds himself so composed. I'm meanwhile talking about like the person in lane 0 that I know, and he's just holding it together for his son. I don't know how he does it. I'm super impressed by obviously both of them, but Cole Pratt, an obvious highlight for the both of us, I think.
Oh, definitely. And a personal highlight, obviously, for me, it was very exciting to see him swim so well, as it was with all of the Canadian swimmers. And it makes it really easy up there. I believe, Brittany, you'd agree with me, when the kids are swimming so fast and making it so exciting, it makes our job really that easy.
Now, Britt, you've been in these positions before at the end of a trials where you're waiting to be confirmed onto a team. What's it like as an athlete going through the experience of a trials and then being named to a national team, whether it be your first or your 10th or whatever it may be?
Yeah, I think a lot of athletes will tell you that they're more nervous for trials than they are at an event like a World Championships or an Olympic Games. But my big takeaway from this meet is the bounce backs, the being able to come away from a disappointment and turning it into something incredible, but also seeing new names that we're going to be seeing march out, I think is the magical part of this weekend. The hardest part about a trials is definitely the mental game, being able to stay the course, being able to focus from day 1 through day 5, keeping your head in the right place and staying tough when it comes to those races, because we have some of the best athletes in the world now swimming in Canada. So some of the toughest races you have to do are right on home soil.
And between now, so the trials are over. We're going to wait and announce those teams, but trials are over. Depending on what team you're on this summer, you've got a couple months, a few months before you go off and represent Canada. What are some of the things that the athletes are going to go back and work on with their coaches?
I think some people will be happy to get on the team but know that wasn't the time they want to see, and then some people did a huge lifetime best to get on the team. So it's a lot of staying consistent with what you're used to. You don't want to completely bring something new into the mix. You've only got a couple months to go. But this is also a trial run when it comes to the Tokyo Olympics next year. So it's time to check a lot of video footage, think about the way you prepared. And I always think back to this meet being a great example of practicing things like the warm-ups you want to be doing, the warm-downs you want to be doing, the meals you want to eat. A lot of the things that you don't think about as a spectator are the exact things you got to be thinking about as an athlete when you're 1 year, a year and a half out from the Olympic Games.
Yeah, and tonight we saw a great swim out of Sydney Pickram in that 200 IM. Canadian record tonight in April, and she's still got months to prepare for the Worlds coming this summer. So it's a really good setup for those athletes, not just for the meets this summer, but also right back here in TPASC next April for the Olympic trials.
Yeah, I think we both talked about how excited we are about the junior team. I think our junior world championship team that's yet to be announced is absolutely world class, and I'm really looking forward to that. But having this meet, this cycle, a year out from the Olympic Games in a pool that they're used to swimming in now, all these swimmers have at least swam here a couple times. This is a great trial run when it comes to preparing yourself for the Olympic trials, which is also a huge mental game. I also want to give a shout out to those people that may not necessarily have gotten the performances they did. If I were to have based my performance a year out from the Olympic Games at a meet like this, I would have never been on the Olympic team. So understanding that a year is still plenty of time to make improvements, to take this meet as a learning experience, to move from it, and to make it even better a year from now.
Jason, I mean, you were doing the on-deck announcing in the mornings and then going up into the webcast at night. You've had an experience to be able to watch every single race that's happened. Any thoughts on anything that you saw that really stood out? I know we've touched on a couple of them, but you know, I think for me, what I really like to see, and we talked about it earlier, Brittany and I on the pregame show, was just the time drops coming into finals on a lot of the para-swimming events and the racing that happened in those events.
And there were some great ones. How about that 1/100th of a second is all that separated that 50-meter freestyle tonight. That was a fantastic race, and 15 para-swimming records, a huge week of para-swimming drop, all sorts of swimmers. And we saw that not only in a Paralympic, but also in the Olympic events where swimmers who were swimming very fast in the morning, practicing what it's going to take when they get to the World Championships or whether they're these other international events, and then stepping up and taking a further step at night in the finals.
Yeah, and we did see some really fast swimming in the mornings as well, and that's what it takes on the international level is you got to swim fast in the morning to make it back in a lane in the finals and then continue to improve from there.
Absolutely, and a lot of these kids made huge strides on that, whether they were going best times in the morning and then again in the evening. It all is great setup for those international events later this summer, whether it's the Worlds, the Pan Ams, the FISU, or World Junior. It's all a great, as you said, Brittany, a run-through 1 year out from the Olympic Games, the big show in Tokyo next year.
Yeah, we're going to go and check in on the status of our team list. We thank you all for being here and waiting. We will get to them as soon as we have them. We thank you very much. And a big thank you, please, to Brittany McLean and Jason Pratt for their work here this week.
Thanks, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, this marks the conclusion of Canadian swimming trials. We would like to congratulate all the athletes and coaches, and thanks to all the fans who have supported the event this week.
Mesdames et messieurs, ceci conclut les essais canadiens de natation 2019. Félicitations à tous les athlètes et entraîneurs et merci à tous les partisans qui ont soutenu l'événement cette semaine.
Swimming Canada will be selecting or nominating 6 national teams from these trials. In a few moments, we'll be announcing Team Canada for the FINA World Junior Championships, the FINA World Championships, World Paris Swimming Championships, the Pan American Games, the Para-Pan American Games, and the FISU World University Games.
Natation Canada se sert de ces essais pour sélectionner ou nommer 6 équipes nationales. Dans quelques instants, nous annoncerons Équipe Canada pour les championnats du monde junior de la FINA, les championnats du monde de la FINA, les championnats du monde de paranatation, les Jeux panaméricains, les Jeux parapanaméricains et les Jeux universitaires de la FISU. Les athlètes sélectionnés pour les championnats du monde junior sont priés de se réunir dans la salle Leadership Room 2, derrière la salle des appels, immédiatement après le dévoilement de l'équipe. Les athlètes nommés pour les Jeux universitaires de la FISU sont priés de se réunir dans la salle des appels immédiatement après le dévoilement.
Athletes selected to the World Junior Championships are asked to meet in the Leadership Room 2 behind the call room immediately following the announcement. Athletes nominated to the FISU University Games are asked to meet in the call room immediately following their announcement.
Nous avons sélectionné pour représenter le Canada au championnat du monde de paranatation.
Our first team to present, and we parade them to the podium area, will be the athletes selected to represent Canada at the World Para Swimming Championships. Coached by Ryan Allen, representing Club de Natation Bleu et Or, Danielle Doris.
Entraîné par Joanne Girardin, représentant Laval Rouge et Or, Sabrina Duchesne.
Coached by Wendy Johnson, representing the Cascade Swim Club, Morgan Bird. Coached by Ryan Jones, representing the Variety Village, Ali Van Wixmart. Coached by Vicky Keith, representing the Kingston Y Penguins, Abby Tripp. Coached by Eric Kramer, representing Saskatoon Laser Swim Club, Nikita Enns and Shelby Newkirk.
Entraîné par France Attendresse, représentant le club de natation du Haut-Richelieu, Justine Morier. Entraîné par Craig McCord, représentant le club de natation Gatineau, Camille Bérubé. Entraîné par Marc-André Pelletier, représentant le club de natation de région de Québec, Nicolas Guy Turbide.
Coached by Nick Perron, representing Laval Rouge et Or, Alec Elliott. Coached by Ian Rupnarine, representing the Cobra Swim Club, Matthew Chabraya. Coached by Leonard Roxon, representing the Aqua Aces Swim Club, Katarina Roxon.
Entraîné par Mike Thompson, représentant le Centre de haute performance au Québec, Daniel Kisser. James Leroux. Aurélie Rivard. Tess Rutliff et Zach Zona.
Congratulations to all the athletes selected to represent Canada at the World Para Swimming Championships this summer.
Félicitations à tous nos athlètes sélectionnés pour représenter le Canada au championnat du monde de paranatation.
The staff for the event, the team leader, Wayne Lomas, manager, Emma Van Steen, assistant manager, Marge Walton, head coach, Vince McCuska, coach, Vicky Keith, coach, Eric Kramer, coach, Mike Thompson, assistant coach, Michael Eady, and team coach, Janet Dunn. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Canada for the World Para Swimming Championships 2019.
Mesdames et messieurs, votre équipe Canada, championnat du monde de paranatation.
Ladies, once again, please, a round of applause for Team Canada for the World Para Swimming Championships 2019.
Et maintenant, les athlètes sélectionnés pour représenter le Canada au championnat du monde de la FINA en Corée en juillet.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the athletes selected to represent Canada at the FINA World Championships in Gwangju in the Republic of Korea in July. Coached by Chris Bozeau, representing the Toronto Swim Club, Richard Funk. Coached by Paul Birmingham, representing the Edmonton Keano Swim Club, Emma O'Cronin. Coached by Richard Bishop, representing the London Aquatic Club, Maggie McNeil. Coached by Mike Blondell, representing the University of Calgary Swim Club, Tristan Cote. Coached by Steve Baltman, Sydney Pickram. Coached by Vlastimil Cherney, representing the University of Manitoba Bisons, Kelsey Wog. Coached by Murray Drudge, representing the North York Aquatic Club, Joshua Liendo. Coached by Alicia Franklin, Mackenzie Paddington. Coached by Janet Hislop from the Kenora Swimming Sharks, Gabe Mastromateo. Coached by Dave Johnson, representing the Cascade Swim Club, Cole Pratt. Coached by Tom Johnson, representing the UBC Thunderbird Swim Club and the High Performance Center Vancouver, Josiah Binema. Carson Olofsson, Emily Overholt, Alex Pratt, and Marcus Thormeyer. Coached by Linda Kiefer, representing the Toronto Swim Club, Kylie Moss. Coached by Byron McDonald, representing the Scarborough Swim Club, Rebecca Smith. Coached by Ryan Millette, representing Island Swimming and the High Performance Center Victoria, Jeremy Bagshaw. Coached by Greg Meehan, representing the Scarborough Swim Club, Taylor Ruck. Coached by Neil Studd, William Pisani. Coached by Ben Titley at the High Performance Center, Ontario, representing the Oakville Aquatic Club, Mac Dara. From the Whitby Dolphins, Yuri Kissel. From the Toronto Swim Club, Penny Oleksiak. From the Ajax Aquatic Club, Kyla Sanchez. And from the Scarborough Swim Club, Kira Smith. Your staff, team leader, John Atkinson. Head coach, Martin Wilby. Coach, Vlastimil Cherney. Coach, Tom Johnson. Coach, Dave Johnson. Coach, Linda Kiefer. Coach, Ryan Millette. And Coach, Ben Titley. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Canada for the 2019 FINA World Championships in Gwangju, Republic of Korea.
Mesdames et messieurs, votre équipe Canada pour les championnats du monde de la FINA en Corée en juillet cet été.
Congratulations once again to Team Canada for the World the World Championships in Gwangju, Korea, participating this summer. We'll let them take as many photos as we need, but we're going to move on to announcing the FINA World Junior Championship team that will be selected to represent Team Canada for the FINA World Juniors in Budapest, Hungary in August.
Les athlètes suivants ont été sélectionnés au sein d'équipe Canada pour les championnats du monde junior de la FINA à Budapest, en Hongrie, en août.
From the Fredericton Aquanaut swim team, coached by Marta Belsch, Jacob Gallant. Coached by Paul Birmingham from Edmonton Keano Swim Club, Emma O'Cronin. Coached by Don Burton from the Chatham Y Pool Sharks, Genevieve Sassville. Coached by Murray Drudge from the North York Aquatic Club, Joshua Liendo. Coached by John Barry Healy from the Columbia Shoe Shop Selkirks, James Lebuc. Coached by Tina Hoban from the Kisu Swim Club, Ashley McMillan and Tyler Wall. Coached by Janet Hislop from the Kenora Swimming Sharks, Gabe Mastromateo. Coached by Dave Johnson from the Cascade Swim Club, Sebastian Somerset and Cole Pratt. Coached by Ryan Millette from Island Swimming, Jade Hanna. Coached by Melanie Mellinson from the Kodiak Vikings Aquatic Club, Brooklyn Douthright. Coached by Todd Melton from the Okotoks Mavericks, Finlay Knox. Coached by Brian Metcalf from the Langley Olympians, Bailey Herbert. Coached by Bill O'Toole from the Toronto Swim Club, Grayson Bernard. Coached by Kevin Thorburn from the Etobicoke Swimming, Katrina Bellio and Alexander Milanovic. Coached by Ben Titley from Etobicoke Swimming, Hannah Henderson. And from the Olympian Swim Club, Avery Wiseman. Coaches for the World Junior Championships. Team leader, Ken McKinnon. Coach, Janet Hislop. Coach, Brad Dingy. Coach, Murray Drudge. Coach, Dave Johnson. And Coach, Paul Birmingham. All athletes and coaches for the FINA World Junior Swimming Championships, we ask you now to please make your way to Leadership Room 2 behind the call room for a team meeting. That's all members of the Canadian Junior Championship team. Head to the Leadership Room 2. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will announce the athletes nominated to the Para-Pan American Games. We're doing Pan American or Para-Pan? No, we're doing Pan. We'll do Para-Pan. Nominated swimmers for the Para-Pan American Games in Lima, Peru.
Et maintenant, les athlètes nommés pour l'équipe canadienne des Jeux parapanaméricains à Lima, au Pérou, en août.
Coached by Paul Armstrong from the Brantford Aquatic Club, Angela Marina. Coached by Emil Dimitrov from the Kelowna West Side, Patrick Waters. Coached by Mike Finch from W. Ross McDonald Swimming, Caleb Arndt. Coached by Dave Geary at the Surrey Knights Swim Club, Ariana Hunsaker.
Entraîné par René Laroche du club de natation Mustang de Boucherville, Clémence Paré et Myriam Soliman.
Coached by Beth Maitany at the Garden City Aquatic Club, Emma Grace Van Dyke. Coached by Etienne Paquette from Pointe Claire, Colleen Cloetta. Coached by Kathy Party from W. Ross McDonald Swimming, Tyson McDonald. Coached by Renata Terpstra from the Kisu Swim Club, Jacob Brayshaw. Coached by Eddie Toro at the North York Aquatic Club, Michelle Tovizzi. Coached by Jeff Toth from Flatland Sports Center, Crystal Shaw. Coached by Byron Trajan at the Ravensong Aquatic Club, Nicholas Bennett. Staff for the Para-Pan American Games, your team leader, Wayne Lomas. Manager, Jocelyn J. Assistant manager, Darda Sales. Head coach, Michelle Berube. Coach, Ryan Allen. Coach, Ryan Jones. Coach, Joanne Girardin. And team coach, Janet Dunn. Now, ladies and gentlemen, your Team Canada for the 2019 Pan American Games in Lima, Peru.
Et maintenant, les athlètes nommés pour l'équipe canadienne des Jeux panaméricains à Lima, au Pérou, en août.
These are the athletes nominated to represent Team Canada. Coached by Jack Bowerly. From the Ajax Aquatic Club, Javier Acevedo. Coached by Mike Blondell, University of Calgary, Danica Ludlow. Coached by Donnie Brush from Point Claire, Allison Ackman. Coached by Don Burton from the Chatham-Wypool Sharks, Madison Broad. Coached by Jeremy Demora from Swim Ottawa, Alexia Zevnik. Coached by Tom Johnson from the Prince George Barracudas, Haley Black. Coached by Tom Johnson and the Go Kingfish, Erica Seltenreich Hodgson. Coached by Matt Kredich from Oakville, Tessa Chipluha. Coached by Ryan Millette from Island Swimming, Danielle Hanus and Faith Nelson. Coached by Patrick Parody from the Chena Swim Club, James Dergashoff. Coached by Jeff Popple from Oakville, Mabel Zavaros.
Entraîné par Claude Saint-Jean du Club aquatique de Montréal, Marie-Sophie Harvey et Catherine Savard.
Coached by Mike Westfall from Perth Stingrays, Bailey Anderson. And coached by Lucian Zucchi at the Red Deer Catalinas, Kyla Leibel. Your team staff, team leader Ian McDonald, head coach Rob Pettifer, coach Don Burton, and coach Ben Keast. Congratulations to all the athletes and coaches nominated to represent Team Canada at the Pan American Games in Lima, Peru. We'd ask all the Pan Am athletes and coaches to please report near the awards podium area and see Kirsty Haddo for an information sheet about your schedule for meetings tomorrow.
Tous les athlètes nominés sur l'équipe panaméricaine se rejoindre dans l'endroit du podium, s'il vous plaît.
All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the athletes nominated to represent Canada at the FISU University Games in Naples, Italy in July.
Et maintenant, les athlètes nominés pour l'équipe canadienne représentant le FISU en Italie cet été. Entraîné par Greg Akers du Club aquatique de Montréal, Mehdi Ayoubi.
Coached by Rick Bishop from the Toronto Swim Club, Victoria Kwan. Coached by Mike Blondell at the University of Calgary, Merritt Anderson, Peter Brothers, Robert Hill, and Anders Klein. Coached by Matt Bowie from Manta, Ruslan Gaziev. Coached by Matt Bowie from Point Claire, Connor Isings. Coached by Liam Donnelly from Oakville, Colin Gagne. Coached by Dave Heinbuck from the Go Kingfish, Montana Champaign. Coached by Braden Holloway, University of Manitoba Bisons, Mackenzie Glover. Coached by Tom Johnson from the Kamloops Classics, Megan Dalkey. Coached by Tom Johnson from the Keystone Swim Club, Jaron Lafranc. Coached by Tom Johnson from UBC Thunderbird Swim Club, Ingrid Wilm. Coached by Linda Kiefer from the Toronto Swim Club, Matthew Dans and Hannah Genich. Coached by Linda Kiefer from Coach St. Luke Aquatics, Ainsley McMurray. Coached by Linda Kiefer from the Toronto Swim Club, Eli Wall. Coached by Jeremy Kipp, Sophie Angus. Coached by Byron McDonald at the University of Toronto, Georgia Kidd. And from the Toronto Swim Club, Cameron Kidd. Coached by McGee Moody, Kate Sanderson. Coached by Paul Midgley from the London Aquatic Club, Sheris Huddle. Coached by Bill O'Toole from the Toronto Swim Club, Miranda Stever. Coached by Patrick Parody from the Chena Swim Club, Tim Zeng. Coached by Brian Percy from University of Manitoba, Sarah Watson.
Entraîné par Nicolas Perron de l'Université Laval, Nathan Baudin-Bolduc.
Coached by Steve Price from the UBC Thunderbird Swim Club, Olivia Ellard. Hao Li Fan, Dimitri Lim. Coached by Steve Price from the Langley Olympians, Hillary Metcalf. Coached by Brian Schrader from Kamloops Classics, Colin Gilbert. Coached by Claude Saint-Jean from Camo, Owen Daly.
Entraîné par Claude Saint-Jean de Camo, Ariane Mayville.
Coached by Neil Studd from Sudbury Laurentian, Nina Kucheron.
Entraîné par Blair Tucker du Ottawa Swim Club, Alexandre Perrault.
And coached by Mike Westfall from the Granite Gators, Kennedy Goss. Your team leader For the FISU Games, Ken McKinnon, head coach Derek Schuth, and coach Mike Blondell. Congratulations to all the athletes and coaches named to our national teams competing this summer around the globe. We wish you all the best of luck and thank everyone for joining us here this week at the 2019 Canadian Swimming Trials. For more information, if you want to take a look at those team lists, they will be up shortly on the Swimming Canada website at swimming.ca. It's been a great week of racing here at the Toronto Pan Am Sports Centre. We look forward to seeing everyone back here next year as we host our 2020 Olympic Trials here in Toronto. Have a great night. Get home safe. We'll see you then. One final reminder for FISU Games team members, please report to the Leadership Room 2 for a team meeting.